All right. Okay. So welcome back to the Pop Font podcast. Who knows what episode we're on now? I'm gonna stop announcing the episode every episode because
Yeah,
I
that's
mean
good.
who cares?
I mean, yeah, after the
Um.
first like 8, 9,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. If you like what you hear or see, go check out the rest of our episodes. They're all on YouTube. All right. Yeah. First thing is gonna be the top 5 favorite video games. Not necessarily best of all time or anything like that, but top 5 favorite video games. Um. Yeah, I guess we'll just go back and forth. Um,
Yeah, yeah, you could start.
uh,
What are you just going?
I'm gonna go like 5-1.
Sure.
My number 5, I can't. I had something else originally, and then I was like, I can't remember what I had originally, but
Hmm.
then I remembered that after we talked about it, that Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga existed, and I was like, I didn't have like any classic stuff on my list really,
Mm,
and then I was like, I can't just not have it because like that game, I talked about how that game's peak for like 35 minutes, like I can't just not.
yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's my number 5 is the Lego Star Wars Complete Saga because that's just peak.
Okay. I mean, shit. Really, my list is skewing pretty modern.
Everything else on mine is extremely modern. So
Yeah, I don't have any classics. I will say, like, what this is was this basically? Let me ask you this because I didn't really think about it this way. Was this we were really just saying PlayStation games with this? I'm kind of assuming.
yeah. I mean,
That's kind of because, like, Pokemon Platinum might be mentioned in a list like this, but it's not
I
something I
don't.
really thought about. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I wasn't. Yeah, no. I was mostly thinking PlayStation stuff, which I mean,
Yeah,
you could play Lego Star Wars on PlayStation now, but like that doesn't really, you know.
right. At
Um,
least, yeah. I mean, it was a PC game,
yeah,
but like,
originally,
obviously,
sure.
they have the Skywalker saga, so I mean, you could at least claim that's
Well, I mean, even like you can
yeah,
play the complete saga in like the PS Plus, like it's in the catalog or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I've seen it too. Yeah, the actual game. Yeah.
But yeah, all the others for mine are like PS5 trophy hunting stuff. That was the only one that was like not part of it.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Yeah, like one I really had a hard time finding a place for on this list. I don't really know. Was like Dishonored.
Mm.
I was like, oh man, Dishonored was such a good game. Dishonored 2 was pretty solid too. It was pretty good. Um, but couldn't really put it on this list, especially like looking at PlayStation games. Like I don't even think God of War 2018 makes my
No,
list. Like I couldn't fit it up there. I
yeah.
love that game. I think that game is near perfect. And a lot of the games on the list I basically think are perfect.
Yeah.
So I can't
That was
really.
like the weird thing with this list for me was making it was like really easy, but at the
Mm,
same time, I was like, it sucks how many things can't be in my top 5 favorites. Because there's so
yeah,
many things that I was like, I kind of wish I could put you there, but you're not my
right.
top 5 favorites. And I know that. Like, I don't have to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think for 5, I'm gonna go with Control.
Mm,
It's gonna be Control.
that's a solid choice. Control's so fucking good.
Ah, that
Control,
game
dude. Replaying
so
that
sick.
game was
Oh,
so
it's
great.
great to
Yeah,
replay too, yeah.
redoing that on
The
like my
Platinum
alt.
run, one of the funnest Platinum runs, honestly.
Oh yeah, that's easily one of like the most well designed platinum things
It
ever.
seems like there was almost some intentionality behind it. You'll never know,
Yeah.
but still, it was nice.
And even like all the DLC trophies for it too. Like there's nothing in that game that's tedious or like even like the
Right,
collectibles in that game aren't
right.
tedious. Like you get most
They're
of
not
them.
like extremely out of the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
In most situations, you're gonna get it without having to look so hard.
Yeah. And
But
it's even one of those things where like obviously you might not do it accidentally if someone doesn't tell you, but if someone just tells you, "Hey, anytime you see a folder sitting around, just grab it."
right,
Like you'll hit the trophy mark super fast if you just do that. And like so like the only
notably
tedious
different from like Alan Wake.
Right, yeah. Or I mean, honestly, most video games with collectibles, it's usually like
Fair.
you finish the game and you're still missing like 20 to 30% of the collectibles, and
Right, at
you're
least,
like
yeah.
shit, and then you have to go wander around
Every
for
game's an open world game that
yeah.
stays live after nothing's like a linear game, although, I mean, we're deviating a little bit, obviously, but, like, that's what they're saying about the Wolverine game, it's just gonna be just a linear game, and I'm like, "Wow." God dare I say a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. It's like open
Hopefully, it's
world.
good.
Open world is cool sometimes, but then sometimes it just goes a little bit too far. Like
Also not, like, for certain genres, just,
yeah,
like, out of place.
it's like I'm currently redoing, or not redoing, but doing the platinum for the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga on my alt, and that game is really great. And I definitely appreciate all the insane detail they put into like letting you travel to like 20 fucking planets, and every planet is
Right.
very detailed and stuff like that.
A lot of time and
But
effort was put in.
there is like it is so tedious to clean all that shit up because it's like,
Yeah.
50 something collectibles per planet, and there's like 20 planets,
Oh.
and it takes forever.
Oh, that's crazy, yo. Oh, I mean, I know Lego has that reputation, but still.
Yeah. Nothing like this though. This game's huge for a Lego game. This game's like 80 gigabytes or some shit like that.
80 gigabytes
And
for a Lego.
for reference, it's something like that. And for reference, the Lego Batman game, which also, has the open world element, the one that just came out, and
Mhm.
and it's like, you can explore all of Gotham essentially. That game is only like 30 gigabytes or something like that.
Wow.
So it's like almost triple the size of
One
Lego
of the, like,
Batman.
AAA titles, this
Yeah.
Batman game is, like, less than half the size of
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah. All right, so you said your five. All right, my four is Astrobot. Astrobot
Wow.
is
I'll
so
be
peak,
honest,
bro.
didn't expect it to be this low on your list.
My top three is stuff that it's unassailable for me. Like,
I mean, I'm certain one of those three. I'd have to think about the other two, but anyways, yeah, I can understand you at least to some extent.
yeah, Astrobot was so fucking good, man.
Yeah, you gotta have Astrobot
Yeah.
on this list. You talk about fun, man. Oh,
Bro, I still remember like the second the very first, like the second that game was announced, I was like, whenever that comes out, that's gonna be game of the year. I was like,
it was
like, yeah.
yeah. Even with crazy fucking competition, it's still won too.
Yeah, it definitely did have some like good games going up against it. I can't remember what else came out that year, but there were some things that people were really pissed off that Astrobot beat out.
I think it was Black Myth Wukong, I want to say.
Yo, that's what it was. Wukong was the thing people were really mad about.
It was one of those games for sure.
It was definitely Wukong, because I remember, because that was like, yeah, it was Wukong. Yeah, because there were people
I think
making
that's what everyone was expecting.
Yeah,
but
there were so many people making videos about it, and like being like, of course, Black Myth Wukong is gonna win, and I was like, you're all in denial, but have fun with that.
I wasn't even that surprised either.
Yeah,
as much as good as I heard Black Myth Wukong was, obviously just having played the game, I'm just like, well, I mean, if it's between those two, I think obviously it'll be close, but
yeah,
it seemed like
it's like, I don't think you guys understand. Black Myth Wukong might be a great game, but it's just a Souls-like. Astrobot,
yeah, at the end of the day,
is like it's just
not like genre defining.
Yeah, exactly. And Astrobot was
right.
Astrobot was like
literally
everything you loved about Astro's Playroom times 1,000, and
you like that? You fucking like that?
Yeah.
Here's an entire fully fledged release.
It's just like, okay, like, what do you want?
Yeah, they went crazy with Astrobot.
And nothing. I don't care how cool the fights are in Black Myth Wukong. Nothing's gonna beat the feeling of walking on grass in Astrobot,
dude.
Or water,
grass,
or
water,
clouds. Yeah, the whole thing where it's like, I physically and emotionally understand what it would feel like to walk on a cloud because of this game, even though that doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense, and you're looking at the controller, and I'm just like, how?
It's like, how did you do that?
There's not actually bots in there, right? Like,
yeah. I know, dude, those details are so great. Like the detail, the bots being in the controller thing. It's like, I know it's not in there, but I believe it.
But like
It's
when
like,
I'm shaking that shit, I can
yeah,
feel
it's like
all of
I
them.
can
I can
hear
feel
all of
every
them
feeling.
bouncing around in there.
Like,
They're in there, bro. Like,
yeah.
yeah, no, Astrobot's the best. That's my four.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. But it definitely belong there. I'm not surprised to hear that. Okay, okay, because I moved stuff around. Let's see. Yeah, Control was my five. One, two, three, four, five. Oh, that's unfortunate that there's five more on this list that I think. I think if I go with my gut, favorite games. If I'm going by favorite, you know, hmm, I think. Oh man, honorable mention Stray, who I think I'll have to cut from this list now.
Stray is
Uh,
so fucking good, but
love Stray.
it's not like
Again, it's not like
it,
a top five.
it's kind of like it's very much like a one and done thing, I think.
Yeah, and I also considered Sea of Stars briefly because I just
Mm,
really like that
that
game.
game
It
was
it
cool.
slaps. The soundtrack slaps. Um, but like, yeah, I mean, it's just not enough. Basically, it's a great game, but like, it just doesn't do enough to compete with the rest of these games. Basically, it's not like a indictment of the game. It's just like this is just life.
Yeah.
But I think if I had to go by favorite game, then I think I'm basically agreeing with you here. I'm putting Astrobot 4 as well. Yeah, I think I have to. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
gonna have it higher. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think I have to also have Astrobot at 4. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, because that was really just my thing when I had Astrobot, because I was like, it is
That was
great, and I do
frustrating.
love it, but like the top three are things that it's like it, they're just better. Like,
Yeah, it's difficult to put into words, but
yeah,
like when you compare them, you're comparing like
yeah,
skyscrapers, but like one's
yeah,
one's Abu Dhabi or whatever, and one's like Mount Everest. It's like,
yeah.
they're both impressive,
Yeah.
but like,
It's like this
it's
one's slightly taller,
not
so
exactly the same.
yeah,
Yeah,
whatever. But yeah, yeah. All right, my number three is Elden Ring.
nice. Yeah, I
I've
knew it
just
was going to be on the list.
yeah, I've replayed Elden Ring far too much to not have it on the list.
Yeah, definitely the game on the list that has the most replayability, for me. But yeah, awesome game. We've played a ton. Super replayable. The core game is just great too. I mean, like even if you just do the bare minimum for the most part, the cutscenes. I mean, the level of detail they like really amped up the quality
Yeah.
from the like original Souls trilogy. Um, and Bloodborne was great, and I think also like a step above in some ways.
Oh yeah.
But like,
Then Dark Souls, yeah, definitely.
yeah, but like
I don't know.
still Elden Ring, you can't. It's difficult to compare Bloodborne and Elden Ring because the scale is like just crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that also means Elden Ring is my three as well. But that was already there. It was always going to
Okay, yeah,
be
okay.
three Elden Ring for me. Um, but yeah, for the same reasons as you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like you don't understand. It's like I could probably beat Melania with my eyes closed at this point. Like I can't not
Yeah,
have it in my favorite list of games. It's like
it's just so impressive. There's like 100, 200, whatever bosses, and like,
oh yeah, yeah.
okay, there's some repeats. Let's take out like 40, 30 from that list. I'm probably overshooting, but uh,
Yeah.
so many unique bosses. The attention to detail is crazy. Like
Yeah,
the
I think as far as Elden Ring or any Soulsborne is concerned, I think Elden Ring easily wins as far as the category of like bosses being radically different from each other. Because even though Bloodborne has some cool like crazy shit in there, it's all kind of along the same vein. They're just like people that mutated into
a similar
monsters,
style for
and
sure.
yeah, and obviously
I
Dark
think it goes
Souls.
a couple different directions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
obviously Dark Souls. It's all the same shit for the most part. There's like one or
yeah,
two dragons, and then everyone else is a guy in armor, and it's like that's still
yeah,
cool, but like,
yeah. They make it awesome.
yeah,
It's not like some reality
yeah.
bending shit though.
But there's no Estelle in fucking
No,
outside of Elden Ring or whatever.
yeah,
You walk into Estelle's arena for the first time and you're like, what the fuck is that? A giant like star scorpion thing and floating in the sky.
insane. Yeah, shit. Like, I mean, bosses that you may not run into, like if you're not going for certain things, whatever. Like fucking Placid Dusax
Yeah, yeah.
is
Taking
or what am I? Who am I? Is it Placid Dusax that is like up in the sky?
yeah, yeah, that's how he starts. He's like
Or
floating. He's
yeah,
just
yeah,
floating there and then like aura farming
yeah.
like crazy.
Yeah, his aesthetics are crazy.
Yeah.
Um, for a fight that like unless you know how to get there, you're probably not hitting.
Sure, yeah.
But like
Yeah.
you certainly could. Um,
And even
just
just
like
like the fact that like sure like he's a dragon, but they take like the dragon thing and they make it insane. Whereas like
right.
dragons in Dark
It's not just
Souls,
like fighting a dragon.
yeah, dragons in Dark Souls are pretty big, or kind of like comparing it to like the random dragons you've run into throughout Elden Ring, like that are very basic dragons,
Right.
like
Yeah,
the
copy
like
paste
yeah,
basically.
where it's just like
Just like different elemental
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, they that's literally the only difference. They fight how you would imagine a dragon fights, except they breathe
Right.
fire or
They
rot
don't
or
really
lightning
launch
or
off as
whatever.
much as probably
Yeah,
they
yeah.
should, but
Whereas, yeah, the Dragon Lord is like, yeah, I can shoot nuclear bombs out of my fucking mouth, and I have two
shoot from my
heads, and I can
hands.
shoot lightning, and I can shoot fire, and
I can
I can
like
all yeah shoot lightning out of my claws for some fucking
yeah.
reason, and
And summon it and like fucking earthquake it into the
yeah,
ground.
yeah, yeah, and I can teleport for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, Elden Ring's fucking boss. And then there's just
Just a crate
stuff like
where
Moog
just
too, where it's like
oh yeah,
it
mode.
looks kind of normal at first, and then phase two, they're like, I mean,
True.
Melania fits into that as well, where it's like, even though Melania is still hard
Yeah,
in phase
that's
one,
very
it's like
true.
Melania seems normal, and then in phase two,
Right.
Melania is like, you about to die, bitch. Grows wings and goes fucking psycho on you. And Moog does the exact same thing. Get him to phase
Right.
two, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna grow wings and start throwing blood all over the arena.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I think you're surprised by some phase twos in the Dark Soul trilogy, but for the most part, they like make sense or like the cadence
Yeah,
of the fight doesn't like radically change. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I mean, like,
that changes all the time in Elden Ring.
yeah, even like certain, like Dark Souls 3 is kind of a good example where like a lot of those bosses phase 2 is not surprising whatsoever. Like
Yeah.
even like the really cool bosses like oh my god, the Abyss Watchers for example, it's
Right.
like phase 2 is a little bit harder, but it's just a
Right.
more angry Abyss Watcher. It's not actually like
Right.
different. Or like the whatever the last boss is called, the Soul of Cinder or whatever. That
Yeah.
like phase 2 for that thing is it just gets mad at you and starts using
Yeah.
different forms, and it's like it's not really different. Like you don't have to adjust to an entirely
You
new
have to change your
fighting
playing
style.
style
Yeah,
at all
yeah. You just have to like
if you don't
watch
want
out
to.
for a slightly different attack. It's like, okay, now the
Yeah.
Soul of Cinder is not using a sword, he's using a spear, so it's a little bit different, but it's like he's not really
It plays
moving
itself.
different. Whereas, phase 1 of Moog and phase 2 of Moog is an entirely different situation. It's just
Yeah.
like
And Malenia and Radon
yeah,
and
all of them.
I mean the list goes on, the list goes on.
Yeah.
Even fucking like early with Godric, just like
Oh yeah,
you
with the
don't see that
dragon
kid
head and
coming.
stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, you're like okay, at least Margit was like straightforward.
Well, I was gonna say even Margit kind of falls into it too when he switches to the
A
gold
little bit,
hammer,
yeah,
and it's like that's an entirely new set of attacks he starts throwing at
It
you. Like
is. It is.
it's not difficult to dodge because it kind of comes at you in the same cadence, but like it's not the big stick anymore. You know, it's like the stick
Right. It is
sometimes,
different.
and then the gold hammer, and then sometimes he leaps 90 feet into the air and comes back down, and it's like, okay, well you weren't doing that before.
I
Um,
don't know if I said this before on the podcast. I don't know. I forget. Oh, I think it was just conversations you and I had, but like the amount, and this is also, I think, pretty fair comparison between the other Souls games and this game. Like the move sets that these guys have, the bosses have in these, they gave them. It's so deep, way deeper than should be possible. Again, for a game of this scale, that they were like, yeah, we're also just going to give them probably like 2 to 3 more moves on average than any other Souls boss you've probably ever faced.
yeah, we talked about that on the podcast. I think at some point. I don't think we talked about that specifically, but we were talking about. It was when I think I was talking about how like Elden Ring is the hardest if you're trying to learn how to fight the bosses because they all fight so insanely compared to like the rest of
Right.
Soulsborne. I think that was when we brought that up on here.
That sounds about right.
But yes, you're right because you know
It's crazy.
that's every boss in Elden Ring has an insane moveset that's wildly
Yeah.
unpredictable, and that is not a thing for most of the rest of Soulsborne. Uh, except like a handful of I would say other than a handful of bosses in Bloodborne, that's not a thing in the rest of like the orphan is a great example of a boss that completely changes from phase 1 to phase 2. Like phase 2
Mhm.
orphan is an absolute nightmare and is an entirely different fight from phase 1. But there's only like I don't know. Like I said, there's only a handful of bosses like that in
Yeah.
Bloodborne that
Certainly single
completely
digit.
change. And even then, they're not very difficult for the most part. Like Orphan's really the only one that when he changes, it's really, really hard. The rest of them, it's kind of like it catches you off guard, but then you're like, okay, I know what to
You
do.
can adjust.
Yeah. But all right, yeah.
Yep.
Elden Ring at 3 for both of us. Astrobot at 4 for both of us. I'm trying to remember
Yeah.
what I had at my 5 because I feel like I can't remember what it
You're just having
was.
second thoughts.
Yeah, well, it was like because I made the list like a week and a half ago, and then
Oh
I
yeah.
had like an original 5 that wasn't the complete saga. It was definitely like a PS5 game, but I
I
can't
thought that's
remember
what you put as your 5. Yeah.
the complete saga. Yeah, was with my 5. But like before, I when I first made the list, like when I first mentioned this idea to you,
Mm.
I made a list, and it wasn't my 5 at first, and then I was thinking about it
Oh, you're thinking about
a,
your old. Yeah.
a
Yeah.
few days later, and I was like, I should probably put it in there. But anyway, my number 2 is Alien Isolation.
Oh man. We're running into some problems here because yeah, that was also my. That's also going to be my number 2. Um, and it's also a shame it can't be number 1, but it just can't. But yeah, Alien Isolation. Oh,
it's so
genre
peak.
defining.
It's so
Actually,
perfect.
genre defining.
I'm actually not even remotely excited for anything as much as I am for Alien Isolation 2, bro.
Yeah.
Like
In the order of things to be excited about as a fan of pop culture, folks, it is one. It's very close 1-2, but it's 1-2. Alien Isolation this year. Okay, this year.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I've got the 3 right here, and I think it's unanimous. All right, 1, Alien Isolation sequel. 2, GTA 6,
Mm.
or you could swap it honestly with Odyssey, but I would want to put Odyssey 2, and maybe GTA 6. That's the list, folks.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't give a fuck about GTA.
I at least just want to see if it's good. Like GTA 5 was great, and I really liked how high quality that game was.
Yeah,
So I that's why I want GTA 6. But at this point it's also just like a meme.
yeah. I like enjoyed GTA 5 for like a few minutes, but like I was never really that into it.
You should play the story. That I would recommend that. The story is good enough to play. Um you don't want to platinum it.
No, no,
You do not want to
yeah,
platinum. It's
no,
not a fun platinum.
yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I'm sure I'll play GTA 6 eventually, but I'm definitely not buying that shit like day one or anything.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if this is confirmed. I didn't really do any independent research, but word on the street says it's going to be $80.
It
Which,
is.
okay, whatever.
It's already you can
They
if you go on
released
the
that.
store right now, it's already up there for 80 on
Wow.
PlayStation.
The
Yeah,
PS Store?
yeah, it's already on there.
Holy shit! Breaking news. Um, but also that you can't buy a physical copy. It's all digital.
That's also true.
No.
Yeah, the physical copy is a box with a code inside to
No, no, but
download a
they're gonna
copy.
release they're gonna
No,
release a disc.
bro, there was a whole thing about this where, okay, so GTA released a bunch of like, or I don't know if I think it was Sony actually. Sony released a bunch of like pre-order now pictures on Twitter and shit, and in the
Right.
pre-order picture, it was the GTA 6 cover, box, quote unquote,
Right.
and then it was a picture of the PS5 with the disc drive attached to it, or like the disc drive version of the PS5,
Mm.
and and then like after they posted all the pictures, like a couple hours later or a day later or whatever, they took all the pictures down and everyone was like, that was weird, why'd they do that? And then they re-uploaded all the pictures, but with the PS5 without the disc drive. And then it became like a whole, and then people like, did research and figured out that the reason they did it is because they were promoting the game with a console you don't need to play it because it won't have a disc.
Okay,
So
but eventually.
maybe, but that's definitely not happening as of now. Like literally they already confirmed that if you buy a physical copy, it's a box like
Mhm.
it looks like a regular game box, but inside the box is a code to download the game, not a disc.
The streets are saying maybe December 2026 physical disc version. I mean, this is a Vice article, so grain of salt. But
But yeah. As of right now, that's not the case though. As of right now, the physical copy is literally just a case with a code
yeah, I
inside,
mean, you're right. I mean, you're 100% right. I mean,
which is pretty
I
funny.
hate this shit, man. I mean, we'll probably talk about it. I mean, if not every episode, like every 2 to 3 episodes, but like shit like a Bloodborne remaster in
Mm.
in it for the PS5 or for the PS6 or whatever the fuck. Um, would just print money. Also, everyone would buy it and everyone would love it, but they won't do it.
Yeah.
They're just sitting on the IP.
Yeah.
And like, if they release a disc copy, which shocker does not cost a lot of U.S. dollars to do anymore,
Right.
folks.
Yeah.
We're in the big 2-6, as the kids say. So why not just fucking sell the discs? Print fucking 100,000. You'll sell out, and then come back and say you're sorry,
Yeah.
and sell 1 million.
Yeah. It is weird that they would like sell physical copies that is literally just a case that's empty.
And I know that Switch, the Nintendo is doing this, and it has been doing this for some time. What we just described, like they only for several of their like big
Oh yeah.
IPs,
Yeah.
they only sell boxed copies with codes
Right.
inside. Um, but it's Nintendo. I mean, I expect that from them. I'm not even surprised. I'm honestly not so like a friend told me that. I looked it up the street and I'm like, okay. I mean it's Nintendo.
Yeah.
They're assholes.
Nintendo made it clear their stance on how they feel about the public like 30 years ago. They were like, fuck y'all.
Exactly. Yeah, and you know what? Fuck them, but they're consistent. At least they're consistent.
Yeah. They're like, we may
Rockstar.
be, yeah, exactly.
I mean, come on.
Nintendo's like, we may be assholes, but we don't lie.
Right? Yeah. We don't hide it. It's fucking as plain as day. We will charge $100 million for our game. I mean, they started the trend of charging higher for games. I'll blame Nintendo for that. I think they maybe Xbox might have beat them out, but Nintendo's been terrible about their pricing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, what? Same 4, 3, and 2.
Yeah.
What's your number one, Michael?
Arkham Knight.
You know what? That tracks.
And
That tracks.
honestly, Alien would have been my number one. And then I was
Mm.
thinking about it, and I was like, I've played Arkham Knight like 50 times. I can't like pretend like that what isn't my favorite to a certain like yeah, I just couldn't. I
Mm.
was like I can't act like that's like I haven't played it recently, but
It doesn't necessarily
it doesn't
matter
matter.
in
Like
this
I've played
in
it so
this.
much it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean that's a classic, arguably at this point.
It's like 2018, something like that.
Okay, okay,
Which
a
is
little.
kind
Yeah,
of old, but
it's getting there. Almost 10 years.
it might be a
Goddamn.
little older than that actually now. It might be like
I thought it
2015.
was like 2016.
Yeah, I think it actually is 2015 now that I'm thinking about it.
But yeah, I kind of forgot that game existed because I think I don't know. Yeah, I just kind of forgot that game existed,
Yeah.
but it would probably be just like in my honorable mentions. Honestly, I love that game, but
Arc
I'm not gonna say I played it like 15 times. I played it like 3 or 4 times,
yeah.
and I platted it, and it was awesome. But like the tank shit, some of the tank shit really
Yeah.
pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
some of the
awesome.
late game like bomb defusal tank battle things are just
What are we
obnoxious.
doing, man?
Because there's like it'd be like I don't mind necessarily doing that like the bomb defusal thing, but when it gets to the point where it's like you have to fight like 80 enemies to successfully defuse it, it's like just make it like 15 enemies. It doesn't need to be 80. You know I'm not gonna lose this fight, okay? Like
Yeah,
it doesn't make any difference. Like
yeah. The numbers are. I don't know why, and I guess it's because they anticipated how strong you would be, but like, go fuck yourself.
yeah,
That's unnecessary.
yeah. Well, you get
Just
too
because I
powerful.
can beat
Like
80 does not mean you should put 80 in front of
yeah,
me.
and it's like because you just get too strong at that point too, where it's like
Yeah.
it's not balanced well.
So
It's
why are
like
we doing this?
if it were like 40 enemies and you were barely strong enough to beat 40, then at least there'd be like a challenge aspect to it. But like
Right.
it's 1v80, and I don't even have to really move that much, and I can still kill everybody with very
Right.
little effort. And yeah, so
It's
yeah,
tedious. And like, if you even want to just break it down to let's say none of the combat was the problem, which it is, and Arkham came out a couple days ago, 2015.
nice.
So it's officially 11 years old, I guess. So yeah, if you want to boil it down, or not even boil it down, but just like forget the combat. Why show it? Put 100,000 Batman fans or whatever you want to call viewers, consumers of the
Sure.
content
Arkham
in a
fans,
in a stadium.
whatever.
Yeah, in a stadium, and ask them who wants Batmobile tank. And say nothing else. They'll say whatever. Who wants the Batmobile to be a fucking tank? No, maybe five, people are gonna raise their hand because they have like, some sort of mental ailment
Yeah,
and they like misheard or they had like an epileptic seizure or something.
yeah.
Nobody fucking wants that shit, man.
Anyone who
This
raises
is
their
not
hand
a
for
like
that is getting taken out to the gallows.
right. I just don't get it. Like I here's what because like okay, everyone loves and who wouldn't the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. And the Batman approaches tank status for sure. In a couple situations, it kind of is, but it's pretty grounded, honestly. Like it's not like unbeatable,
Yeah,
and he doesn't use it for a lot of things,
yeah.
which I really is the more important
Like
part.
it is a tank, but he doesn't use the tank aspect of it except for at the very end of the last movie.
Yeah,
Like he uses
total
it as
screen
a
time, not
yeah.
that much.
He uses it as a car and
Right,
until like the very end of the third movie. And then they use it as a tank because they're in a fucking war. But like
right.
before that, that's not what happened. Like it's like yeah, it has a cannon on it, but he like shoots it maybe twice in the first two movies.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Exactly my point. Like, but they just took that and ran with it, I think, and that was a poor decision.
Yeah, yeah. Like having it be
All
big
right.
and bulky like a tank is fine, but like having it
Yeah.
literally turn into a tank and having that mechanic used like for 50% of the time you're in the Batmobile is pretty wild.
Well, to construct the combat like around, okay, we're gonna make it's one thing to again say like, okay, we're gonna make the Batmobile tank. It's another to say, okay, We will be so therefore, Michael, we must introduce tank enemies.
Yeah.
And because the player will be strong and we must introduce tanks. So, you know, let's first of all give me 30 minutes, let me write that into the story. Okay. We've got that in the story. Now now we're going to have tanks around and we're going to develop 50 no, 200 combat challenges on tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that like two or three of the like most wanted storylines are all
Yeah.
tank battle related,
Oh, it hurts so much, man.
it's like okay.
Because what are we what game are we
I think
playing?
it's just two, actually.
I
But
think you're
still.
right.
I think it's the bomb defusal thing,
Yeah.
and I feel like there's another one that's very similar to the bomb defusal thing. But either way, it's too much.
There's a is there a racing there's a racing one, right?
I mean,
Or am I
there are lots of races, but obviously that doesn't require you to be a tank.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true, true, true.
It might just be the bomb defusal things, but there's just so many
Might
of
be.
them that,
There's so
and
many.
not necessarily that there's so many of them. It's that it goes from being like you have to destroy 12 tanks to you have to
Right.
destroy 80 tanks, and it's like
Right.
that's too many.
What are
Like
we doing, man?
when because sometimes some of those fights literally like if you timed it, it would literally take you a solid 10 minutes
Yeah.
just to kill them all because there's just so many. And you have to wait for them to all spawn in and you have to wait for them to all come to you and stuff like that. And it's just like I don't want to be doing this for 10 minutes. And then they make you do it for 10 minutes, like 6 times during the
Right.
last 6 bombs or whatever. And it's just like,
Yeah.
holy crap.
Those missions do take like upwards of 10, 20 minutes sometimes. It's insane.
Yeah.
The fights alone taking the vast majority of all that time.
But yeah, so your number one?
Yeah, I couldn't put Arkham Knight on this list. Love that game though. Partially for those reasons,
Also,
but it's gonna
Arkham
be
Knight
God of
is.
War
Oh, okay,
Ragnarok.
okay. Nice, 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 nice.
Gotta give, and you know, I'll say this about God of War 2018: story awesome, gameplay awesome, awesome, combat awesome, and I would say near perfect. Problem is, the rest of these games on this list are pretty much perfect, and I think Ragnarok does an extremely good job.
Yeah.
Of improving on all the great things and fixing like the few minor flaws that I mean, in 2018, God of War was not a perfect game. Um, I remember specifically like the climbing being really clunky, and there were other things, but it wasn't a long list, right? But like you know, the combat wasn't like they didn't have really enough like boss type fights, you know, in
Sure.
my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
It was like on the shorter end of what I think that game should be in terms of story, but like they fixed all of that.
Yeah. 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 It was more
They
like
improved
big
on everything.
monsters as opposed to enemies with names and backstories and stuff
Right.
in God of War
And they
4.
pretty much yeah, and they pretty much just do everything better.
Yeah.
Which was already extremely high standard, but they managed to do it better, and I was really surprised, honestly. I was expecting it. I was hoping for it to be just as good, but expecting the likely possibility that it will be, you know, perhaps a little bit shorter or just, you know, maybe just barely meeting par. But it was like noticeably a lot better. Um, and the story I think was also a lot better, even with the great story that they already set up. I mean, the concept is really cool. That stayed consistent, but they delivered on it a lot better
Yeah.
in the second one with not just Kratos but Atreus, fleshing him out, um, and Freya, um, and really, you know, just exploring a lot of like a more impactful story than just like my dead mom, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the first game, which is obviously an oversimplification, but like you know,
But
you
yeah,
get the
the
idea.
first game was a lot more like self-contained to like they told us to go here, so we're going here, and that's the whole
Right?
story.
Yeah,
Whereas Ragnarok had a lot of different shit going on.
a lot of
A lot crazier shit too.
right. The stakes somehow were higher. and the yeah, the gameplay was a lot better. I mean, the gameplay was so good in 2018, but like they
Yeah.
managed to take some of the concepts like oh, this is a cool move that you can do. Well, here's would you like 15 more cool moves? It's
Yeah.
like, yes, I would.
Yeah. I hope God of War Laufey is peak so everybody on the internet can shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Bro, people
I can agree with that.
the internet's so obnoxious. I hate everybody.
But it looks
Yeah.
pretty solid. There's no reason not to believe it's going to be exactly that at a minimum. It's solid.
Yeah.
In all likelihood, from the combat that I've seen, I would not be surprised if it's again at least on par with 2018. Probably realistically, combat wise, better than 2018. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and
Oh
a
yeah. I mean,
lot more
it,
creative
if it
potentially.
plays like, I mean, obviously it looks like that's how it's gonna play, but having it play like the free flow OG combat
Of the
style of
OG God of War
like
games,
it's
yeah.
like that
They
beats
mentioned that like
that beats
when are
Ragnarok
they
in
going to do it?
2018 automatically.
Right.
Like
Yeah, well, if they're able to combine it, you're right. I
yeah.
agree. I think anybody would be stupid. Why? And another thing would be like, you know, why even say that if you don't think you can deliver that
Yeah.
with this studio's reputation? So, at a minimum, you probably have that to look forward to. You know, I do hope the story is good, but like honestly, it looks like it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not worried at all about the direction. Sure, we all wanted Kratos to be on the main cover, but I don't.
It's
It
fine.
looks
Like it's on it.
fucking
Oh,
sick,
he'll be on the next
especially
main
when you
cover.
know the lore.
Like
Yeah, exactly. If they make
everyone
another
calm
game,
down.
yeah, I don't think they would do something like this. Or if it's Atreus or something
Yeah.
like that,
Plus,
shit could still be
sure,
awesome at
sure, yeah,
that
that should
point
be cool. Like a older,
potentially.
like a grown up Atreus. I think that could be fun.
Yeah,
But also, and the other thing too, I think is funny is it's just like they're also making the God of War trilogy remaster right now too. So
I saw that. Yeah,
it's like
I'm
guys,
looking forward to that.
we're not like not giving a Kratos thing. We're getting the God of War trilogy and a game about Faye and probably another actual like God of War like 5 after that, or not
If
5, but
they have like
God
a
of War
roadmap,
7.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if they have a roadmap, but like, because I was thinking about this the other day. I imagine they did have a roadmap, and they're like basically like, okay, they're thinking this is before 2018. They're like, okay, people want a, they love God of War, they want a remaster, but we think we can revisit this franchise and really get people hooked, and we can have this story about Kratos, and then it's this totally different emotional direction and fighting style, blah blah blah, and then we go, and then we completely flesh it out basically and bring it to, you know, uh, a pretty critical point, and then we, we had developed this whole storyline with him and Faye. So now Faye's going to get her game, but because people are going to be upset about that's when they release the God. Like how? What if they had this? This is all part of like
Yeah.
a 7-8 year roadmap or some
Yeah.
shit. You never know, guys. You never know. It could be it could be in the in the books or something.
Yeah. I think I did see something where like because people were complaining about how like God of War 6 is going to be about Faye instead of Kratos. People and like I think someone was I can't remember who it was. Someone, Santa Monica or wherever the hell was like relax. We're not going to not make another Kratos game. Like not
Yeah.
including the remasters obviously. So I think they already like straight up said word for word that they're making God of War 7 or whatever you want to call it that'll go back to
Kratos.
being like with Kratos and Atreus. And it's like so everyone calm down. Like you just have to wait a little bit longer for that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all right. Solid top 5s I think for the video
Honestly, I
games. Yeah.
think these lists, I'd put them up against anybody's
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Also, just real quick for the people, Arkham City is not better than Arkham Knight, and you can fight me about it.
Ooh, yeah, you've pissed some people off
I
with
don't
that one.
understand that. I don't understand the glaze for
It
Arkham
doesn't age as
City
better
at
as like
all. I
people
don't
think.
get it. Like people be like, "Oh, it's like the greatest fucking Batman story ever," and I'm like, "No, it isn't. It's good, but it's not the greatest thing ever. It's honestly a little bit disjointed at parts. Like because there's
What
certain
what did you? I don't think I've heard you talk about the story. What do you not like about the story?
there's certain eh, okay, for me, I guess for someone that like is at least a little bit familiar with Batman lore, it works a little
Right.
bit better, I think. But okay, like Talia is a big thing, right? Because
Sure.
everyone talks about how emotional like the whole thing with Talia being there and then like Joker killing her and Batman letting him die because of it, and it's like they talk about that like it's God's gift to video games, right? And And I'm like, it's not that it doesn't have emotional impact or whatever, but Talia and her relationship with Batman just appears out of fucking nowhere in this game. Like people don't talk about the fact that they don't set it up at all in at any point in like Arkham Asylum, obviously, or like there's no lore about them until Arkham City, and in Arkham City, it just immediately opens with, oh yeah, they're like together, and they've always been together and they care so much about each other that Batman is willing to let Joker die for revenge with Joker killing her and stuff like that. And I'm
Right.
like, I believe you because in my head I can like inject,
Like
other
the
movies,
characterization.
yeah, other movies or comic book stuff into it and be like, I'm going to pretend like that happened in this game so that this makes more sense. But like self-contained to the game, there's a lot of story beats in Arkham City where they just assume that you should know information already, or they like act as if they set something up when they didn't.
Yeah.
And I think that people don't talk about that at all. And I'm like, it's weird to me. I'm like, they like, yeah, that's the main thing though. There's so the emotional stuff is there and it does work, but I
Mhm.
don't think it works as well as people claim it does because they don't do any groundwork for it. It just is like, oh yeah, this has always been a thing, and it's like when in between Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, when you didn't show us any of that information, and there's no cutscene or anything to tee it up. And I think Arkham Knight does a lot better job at being more like a narrative story, like the narrative feels more fleshed out and everything as opposed to, like even the stuff that they do, they skip ahead for a lot of stuff, like the whole thing with
Sure.
Jason being the Arkham Knight and Red Hood and all that stuff.
Right.
Obviously, we never see that part of the story. Like that clearly happened
Correct.
at some point between Arkham Asylum and Arkham City because I'm pretty sure Tim was already Robin in Arkham City, if I'm remembering correctly. But there's no uh and like even the stuff with like Barbara getting paralyzed, like that happens between Asylum and City as well, like timeline wise, because she's
Yeah.
already, I'm pretty sure she's also already Oracle in Arkham City, so she's already been paralyzed by that point.
Hmm.
And but the way that they do the Jason stuff after they reveal that he's, or not even after, but like as you're leading up through the story, they give you flashbacks. Like they show you when Joker had him imprisoned
Yeah,
in
I've seen
Arkham
him.
Asylum
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. Like
How he praised
they
him.
give you all the information leading
Yeah.
up to his reveal as the Arkham Knight. And it's like, so it's not just like, oh yeah, Jason is Red Hood and all this stuff happened to him, but we're not going to show you any of it. And that's what City does. They're like, all this lore happened, but we didn't show you any of this lore. And that just kind of bothers me.
See, I'll be honest. I love Arkham Knight, and I don't think, and I think and I think you're right. I still felt, and maybe this is just my ignorance speaking. I still felt like the reveal. It was telegraphed for sure. I think it has like at least like 5% of that, like, still a little in terms of like lack of evidence, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, okay, obviously they wanted it to be a reveal,
For Jason.
but yeah,
Yeah.
but only like a very small percent, I
I
would
just
think.
I just mean in this. I don't necessarily mean that like they did a better job with like building up to the reveal or anything like that. I'm just saying like they give you the full story
Mm,
in Arkham Knight, and they don't give you any of the story in City except for what you actually see happening.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
There are no flashbacks to explain the emotional connection between Batman and Talia. They're just like the game tells you they're emotionally connected.
Mm,
Believe it, or this won't make sense later. And it's like,
yeah.
okay, I believe you, but like, but you didn't show it to me.
Yeah,
Also, Scarecrow's a better villain than Joker in that universe.
I mean, true.
I'm sorry. I don't care. Like I don't care that people were like I think I will say the one thing that really kind of annoys me about the Arkham games is the fact that like they make Joker the main villain of all not well I guess not really the last one but they make him like the final villain of Arkham Knight and then they make him the main
Yeah.
villain of the first two and it's like Batman's got other bad guys you like you don't
Yeah,
have
but like it just feels like a box you have to check. Like it
sure
just
sure
had to go that
and
way.
like I get like the arc they were telling is very much supposed to be
It's
about it's
intertwined,
the relationship
obviously.
between Batman and Joker from the first time they meet
Right.
until they're dead. Until they're both dead or
They're both
whatever.
dead, yeah.
And even though we know that Batman didn't die because the Suicide Squad, well, he did. Wait, did he die? No, he didn't die. I was gonna say because he dies in Suicide
He
Squad,
might
but
have died,
that wasn't him.
maybe.
That was a clone. That was
Okay.
retconned. Batman lived. It's fine. But the whole Bat
Shout out
family.
to Suicide
Oh my
Squad.
god, I can't start talking about Suicide Squad. It's gonna piss me off so much. The
Then need
whole Bat family died though.
couple episodes.
Bro, that shit infuriated the hell out of me. The throwaway lines in that game. It's too late. The gate has been opened. The throwaway lines in that
Yeah.
game, where they'll just be like, "Oh yeah, also these guys also died," and it's like, bro, when you go to the Batcave, right? So when you go to the Batcave to defeat evil Batman,
Yeah.
you get there and you find like or maybe it might not be when you get to the back. It doesn't matter. It's around the time when you're going to kill evil Batman. You find like Robin's Tim's like mask and like his bow staff or something, and it's like his mask is on the ground and there's like blood next to it, and then the bow staff is like shattered or something. And they imply they don't like they don't directly word for word say it, but they imply that the whole Bat family got killed by the Justice League
Mm.
trying to stop Batman, or maybe just Batman. Like the whole Bat family got killed by Brainiac clone Batman when they tried to
Yeah.
stop him. And I'm like, that is so fucked up. That y'all like Tim's definitely dead because they show his like mask and the blood, and there's like the broken bow staff. It might have been Nightwing's Eskrymystics. Doesn't matter. One of them's for sure dead. But they imply that the whole Bat family tried to stop the Justice League, and they all got murdered. And I'm like, so you're telling me that the Bat family couldn't beat the Justice League, but the fucking Suicide Squad could? I'm gonna need y'all to get the fuck away from me. Like, with this bullshit lore. Bro, that pissed me off more than anything in that game, which is saying something. Because I was like, how did the actual superheroes, the superheroes trained by Batman couldn't beat
Yep.
Batman, but Harley Quinn could beat Batman?
True.
And it's fucking Arkham Harley.
That's
I don't
pretty
know if
impressive.
anyone has played Arkham games recently. Arkham Harley is not comic book Harley Quinn. Arkham Harley is original Harley Quinn who can't fight and is a joke and is like
Right.
and is a pathetic like hanger-on of Joker. And like play any
Yeah.
Arkham game, every single Arkham game where Batman and Harley fight, it lasts 1 second and Batman bitch slaps her so hard she like hits a column and she's instantly knocked out.
Yeah.
That's the Harley
Yeah,
Quinn
honestly.
you're playing as, lore-wise,
Yeah.
canonically in the Suicide Squad game. And she defeats Arkham Batman in battle. Even though Arkham Nightwing and Arkham Robin and Arkham Red Hood exists in this universe.
Red
How
Hood exists.
how did Nightwing, Robin, and Jason lose to a clone of Batman?
You know, sometimes
Like
Michael
Jason
gotta
would have just
for-
shot him in the head. Like Jason would have been like, "Yeah, he's evil now. Pop, we win." Like You know what's crazy is someone could be like, "Oh well, that doesn't make sense." Like Batman would find a way to like not get shot in the head. You know what's crazy though is that's literally how they kill the clone. Is Harley shoots him in the head. So it's like
Well,
there's no way you can convince me that Jason is not better in combat and at using guns than anybody on
yeah.
the Suicides.
I
Maybe
don't know. Harley
Deadshot,
Quinn sharpshooter,
but
perhaps. Who
like,
knows?
dude, oh my god, the game is so fucking stupid. It just makes no sense at all.
Well, consider this, Michael. Maybe they just wanted to subvert your expectations a little bit.
I
You
hate
know,
them so
nothing
much.
wrong with
That
that.
game actually makes me so angry. It's so fucking stupid. Oh my
I
lord.
mean, a lot of people agree with you.
Oh my god.
At least that's good.
The only like way that someone could positively view that game that wouldn't piss me off is if they're like, "Oh, like I'm not really into these characters and I just played it and the gameplay was fun." I'd be like, "You're correct. The gameplay is actually pretty fun
Oh, it's nice.
and it doesn't
I heard
really
people say every bit of it, and that the
yeah,
gameplay was like kind
no.
of repetitive
The
or something.
gameplay does get repetitive if you're especially like if, really though, I would say it only gets repetitive if you're
Don't they also have
trying.
like really long fights or no?
Oh, the league members? No, their fights are fucking terrible. But like outside of their fights, like the open world stuff and fighting against like the Brainiac drones and stuff like that, that stuff is pretty fun for the most part. It only gets repetitive though, like if you're going for like the platinum, because you have to like
No, that's
you have to repeatedly do these like combat challenge things that take like 30 fucking minutes. They're like raids
yeah.
basically, and you have to and they just get progressively harder as you keep getting like leveling up more and more as you do them, like your tier ranking or whatever keeps going up, and so they scale with you, and by the end of it you're doing like like sometimes some of them will take like an hour, and
Bruh.
you have to keep doing them until you unlock like all of like this, it's like Bane gear or some shit like that. I can't remember whatever it was, but it's a specific type of gear you have to unlock, and there's a trophy for that. It's like unlock all of the like, I don't know, like Nightmare Bane gear or some shit like that. And the only way to unlock it is by beating like the whatever tier challenge mode thing. And you have to basically like beat each challenge tier a certain number of times to rank up to the next tier. So you have to like just keep doing it over and over and over and over again until you get to the tier where the rewards are like the nightmare gear or whatever it's called. And yeah, so at that point it gets tedious because you're literally like you've got like you could like fucking fall asleep and do it because you're just like you're doing the exact same thing over and over and over again for like 4 hours. Um,
Yeah.
but
Okay,
yeah,
that's what I heard about.
because when I originally like did like I think I did like a review for it or something like that on my YouTube channel, and I was like, and that was literally one of the positives I did at the beginning was that like the gameplay is pretty fun for the most part. It doesn't really makes like what they should have done. The thing that they should have done is they should have designed the gameplay around one character instead of letting you play as Harley or Deadshot or King Shark or Boomerang, because none
They're
of
just
like
locked into certain characters, like for certain missions or whatever.
no, not really. You can be anybody you want at any time.
I mean, like that's what they should have
Oh
done.
no, I was gonna say they should have designed it the way that they did like the Guardians of the Galaxy game, because that game was like you only play as Star Lord, but you can interact and command the other members of the Guardians to fight with you. So like you can still like it still feels like you're fighting with them, and like they're still
Mhm.
actually helping you in battle. They're not just like it's not like in Call of Duty how like your allies don't actually do anything. They just shoot at the fucking sky and they miss every shot or whatever.
Sure.
Like in the
Yeah,
Guardians game, they actually fight with you and it feels dynamic and like it's actually happening.
they're
But
helping you.
they designed the whole combat system around Star Lord so that you're not having to like switch between wildly different combat mechanics, or to avoid the real problem, which is having combat mechanics that are too similar for every character. So it doesn't feel like there's any point in switching. And that's what Suicide Squad
Yeah.
kind of does, where it's like everybody is just kind of using guns. And it's like Deadshot is the gun guy. So it makes sense that he's using guns, so that's fine. But like Captain Boomerang and Harley and King Shark are all just using guns also. And it's like not that Harley has never shot a gun before, but like she doesn't
Sure.
generally use guns. And King Shark definitely doesn't use guns. And Boomerang
King
obviously
Shark?
Yeah.
uses gun?
Yeah, he uses yeah. They all use guns because the gameplay wouldn't work if you didn't have a gun. Like it would just it like the way they designed it. But that's
That
why.
was
So that part
smart.
is dumb. Like they should have designed the whole game. They should have been like, you play as Deadshot, and the rest of the Suicide Squad, you command them in battle, and they
True.
should have just done that. Or like make it more make it like level specific, like you said. Except
Yeah.
then it wouldn't have been like the only problem with that is it would have made the open world feel really weird because or they would have had to just not do an open world
Open
at
world
all.
is, I mean, same solution as you at that
Yeah.
point. The open world is Deadshot, and like you just
Yeah,
your
I guess,
character
yeah. And
get.
then in specific missions, just be like, oh, this is a King Shark mission, and you only get to play as him inside the mission. Yeah, that would have worked, I guess. But yeah, that was like my main thing right away with the gameplay was like when you're playing as King Shark or Harley or Boomerang, it doesn't really feel like you're playing as those characters. It feels like you're just playing as a guy with a gun because that's what you're doing. And
Mm.
Deadshot is the only one that feels right because that's what he does. And,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, no, that's the only positive thing you could really say about that game is the gameplay is pretty fun.
Okay. Well, that's more than what I had opinions of on it.
But yeah, no, everything else in that game is fucking except for the boss fight. The boss fights are horrible. They're so fucking stupid.
I do remember that.
Oh my god, dude. Bro, you remember like like the Scarecrow DLC in Arkham Knight where you're like in the Batmobile and you're like have to race through like the area first and then you're like fighting the giant apparition of Scarecrow in the
Yeah.
Batmobile and you have to like shoot it.
Mhm.
That is quite literally not in the Batmobile, obviously, because you don't have one of those in Suicide Squad,
Sure.
but that is quite literally the Batman boss fight in Suicide Squad. Like
But
Batman uses fear toxin on you, turns into a giant apparition, and you just shoot the apparition until it falls. That's the Batman boss fight.
I mean, that makes no fucking sense.
That's what happened. I'm
No.
trying. That's the worst boss fight in the game by a fucking landslide. Because you don't actually fight Batman. You just scare him too much with fear. Oh my god. Oh my god, Chase. Oh my god. The lore for the Batman fight is so fucking dumb. So Batman. Okay, obviously at the end of Arkham Knight, Batman does take the fear toxin that Scarecrow developed and he starts using it. Like I don't know if you remember, like the very final shot of Arkham Knight is when the two guys are in the alley and they see what looks like Batman on the roof and they're like, "Ah, oh, we know he's dead. That doesn't scare us, you fucking loser." And then it turns into like this giant demon bat looking thing. And the
Yeah.
implication is that he now uses fear toxin on criminals and stuff like that, which is horrifying. And so in this game, they confirm that that's true and that Batman still uses the fear toxin on his enemies in battle. And so he does that to you when you break into the Batcave to try to, get whatever weapon you're in there to get. He immediately floods the whole place with like the super potent version of the fear toxin that Scarecrow had developed in Arkham Knight. He
Yeah.
he he
Okay.
he uses that on you, and so then you see the giant Batman apparition. And I swear to God, this is how the story explains it. Harley, during the fight, you're all like slowly dying because of the fear toxin, like driving you nuts or whatever during the fight. And then Harley is like, "Oh," Harley's like, "Don't worry. During my years at Arkham, I was secretly working on my own fear toxin all this time and didn't tell anybody conveniently." And she says something to the effect of, if we overdose on Batman's fear toxin, then it'll flush out of our systems and we'll be fine. And then after that happens, you use Harley's brand new fear toxin that she quite literally pulled out of her ass on Batman, and it instantly knocks him out. And then you capture him that way, and then you go and kill him in a different scene. But that's actually how that goes down, though. Like
There's so many things.
the fact that like Harley, I'm telling you, bro, when Harley said, "Oh, if we OD on the fear toxin, it'll like flush out of our," I was like,
that like
"That's not how drugs work." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Guys, let's do like a bunch of heroin. That way, we'll never die from heroin.
Yeah, I was
We'll
like,
just flush out what the
And I was like, even if that's how fear toxin worked, which it's not, how would you
sure.
possibly know that? I'm like,
Yeah, Harley, Doctor Harleen, of course.
yeah. I think actually the logic that she uses is that like she used to like get high on the fear toxin on purpose because she's insane. So she knew
Okay.
that ODing on it would like cure you of it, which still doesn't make any fucking sense. But
Well,
like
yeah,
that's how like the mechanic makes no sense, obviously. But her logic,
yeah.
I guess, technically makes
Okay,
sense.
fine,
She's
whatever.
like,
I
oh, I
guess
used to do
she
this for
had fun.
fun, so I know it works. And it's just like fine, but that's not how drugs work. Even
That's not
even
how anything
even
works.
comic book drugs, like uh,
Uh,
but yeah.
yeah, just gonna flush the
Yeah,
system,
and
man.
then she pulls her own fear toxin that she's secretly been working on since before Arkham Asylum out of her ass. And
Very
she's like, "Oh,
talented.
don't worry, mine's better," and it instantly defeats Batman. And I'm like, "Man, fuck this game."
Better foil than Joker, I guess, technically in that game.
Oh my god, dude! Flash gets
So
defeated with bullets,
that was so funny to me. I think I saw that video because like his intro video is pretty cool, and you're like, oh,
dude. Flash is
Flash is gonna like
terrifying.
kill people.
Yeah, Flash is
Like, okay,
terrifying when he
guys,
shows up.
man, he's just gonna fucking kill all these people, and you're like, well, okay.
I think the craziest part about all the boss fights, though, especially like Flash and Green Lantern, I mean, all of them, all, like Flash, Green Lantern, Superman, Batman doesn't really fall into it because, like I said, it's like a weird fear toxin illusion fight. It's not really a fight. All
Right.
three of them, they attack the environment around you. They never actually aim at you because, obviously, logically, if any of their attacks even remotely touched you, you would
Right.
instantly vaporize. Like Flash during his fight is like creating cyclones and then pushing them kind of near you, or like generating
Oh,
lightning and then like throwing the lightning sort of towards you but not at you. And it's like, Flash,
you.
why are you throwing shit at me? Just like, and the cutscene, oh my god, and the cutscene right before the boss fight, he runs up and is like, he's talking about how pathetic and weak everybody is and how he's going to easily kill them. And then he rips Lex's heart out before anyone even sees him move. And then the boss fight starts like right after that. And it's like, Flash, why are you not doing what you just did to Lex to these four fucking
The
losers?
great unblockable maneuver,
Yeah, I'm
by the way.
like just do that. Phase through all four of these people in 1 second, rip all their hearts out, and be done with it. Like, what? Why are you throwing tornadoes at me that I can easily dodge? Why are you throwing lightning bolts at me that I can easily dodge? Like, just hit me. Just don't even have to do like fancy shit. You don't have to like phase through my chest and rip out my heart. One punch at full speed, and like everyone's head is going 50 miles west. Like,
Yeah,
and then Green Lantern, he does the exact same thing. He creates like a bunch of constructs in the sky, and but he just kind of like randomly throws them out in it, like he creates like a circle around himself with his constructs, and then just kind of explodes them outwards, basically. But he's not actually aiming at you. He's just aiming at the entire arena. So if you just line up between the constructs, they'll just miss you. And it's like, bro, just aim your fist at the person and blast them. Like, what are you doing?
yeah.
And yeah, Superman, same thing. Like he freezes shit around the park that you're fighting him in, but he doesn't freeze you. And he shoots his heat vision at random shit around the park, but not at you. And he punches random shit around the park and throws stuff, but he doesn't throw stuff at you. He throws it at other things around the park. And it's like, Clark, just fucking hit me. Like, what? Like, what are you doing, man? Oh
Intimidation
my
test.
god, it's so
Superman.
dumb.
Let's
Every boss,
intimidate for 3-minute fight instead of
dude,
punching one time.
literally every boss fight is like that. Even like okay, yeah. In the final boss fight against Brainiac, they cheaped out on soap, bro. Brainiac, his boss fight, he doesn't even have his own moveset. He literally uses the cloning technology or whatever that he used to create the evil Justice League members, and he clones Flash's powers into himself. So you literally just do the Flash fight again, but it's Brainiac doing it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Very creative.
it's Brainiac using Flash's attacks on you. That's literally the final
Dude,
boss fight, and it's
that's
like,
I'm convinced this was like a money laundering scheme.
bro, it was a
Or
troll. The whole game's a troll. It's like, what is
there's no
happening?
way. I don't want to know how much that game cost to make, but let's say it was like $5-10 million.
I'm
There's
gonna look
no
it up.
way. Whatever the amount is if it's 5 to 10 million or more, I hope it's not more. Like, how did you both cheap out on like all of the following? Like, to some extent, combat, but like at least it's enjoyable. But at least like in terms of it's just the same. It's just the guns, whatever. The story direction, complete garbage. Just like the boss fights being complete garbage. What do you? How do you fuck up so many things?
What did you
How
think
much?
the money? What did you think the number was gonna be?
So maybe I was undercutting. I haven't looked it up, but like I said, like 10 to 15 million. When did it come out? When did it come out?
2023, I think. 2024, maybe.
2024. I mean, I kind of stand by that. We'll go with the higher end, 15 million.
Wow, that is such a low guess.
Oh no,
Okay,
it's gonna be like
there's no like specifically confirmed number. I'm gonna go with the lowest number I found. A
yeah,
hundred
like
million
80. Oh,
minimum
oh, oh.
is how much it cost
I
them to
mean,
make that game.
how? First of all, I mean, obviously they. You know what? You know how much Arkham Knight cost to make, folks? Arkham Knight.
20 million.
Okay, for the time. Wait, adjusted for inflation. Hold on. Hold on. Wait, do I gotta do some fucking math? Yes, I do, man. I guess this does need to be adjusted for inflation. 10,000. Okay. Batman Arkham Knight cost 70 million
Okay, yeah.
in today's dollars, but it was 50 million. 50 million in 2015. And in any measurable way
It's
better.
a
But
thousand
like,
times better.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Where's that money? That, like I said, it's a money laundering scheme. Like, that's
Yeah, that game
that's
was
crazy.
apparently I think Suicide Squad also I guess they had like a $200 million like loss or something. I can't remember what it was, like as far as what
The
they
marketing. I'm sure it was marketing.
yeah, something like that. They lost like a bunch of money because of that, how badly that game did.
Yeah, at least that was like capitalism working its whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it's just I remember like the very first when that game first got announced and they revealed the trailer, or not the trailer, when they revealed the title of it as like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I was like, the very first thing I was like, you can't actually do that. I was like, I'm like, you can make that the premise, but they can't actually accomplish that goal,
right.
or
Which
else
feels
it'll
fucked that they would even put it in the
yeah,
title,
it's like
let alone.
yeah, but maybe just like a clickbaity type, like, oh, this will get people to see if we're actually gonna do it, and then we won't do it, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, fine, cool.
No, but okay, whatever.
And I like, there was no part of me that you could have ever convinced they would actually have just done it, because it's just like, I'm like, there's
Yeah.
no way you can do it, especially after they confirmed that it was in the Arkham universe. I'm like, there's no way you can do that without pissing off everyone to an entirely new degree. Like there's just no way. You can't do it. Like you won't do it. I didn't believe it. And then playing the game, I still didn't believe it until Flash died, and then Flash died and
Right.
I was like I still don't believe it. Like I was like and then Green Lantern died and I was like I might believe it now. I was like and then
Compare the two. Watching the beginning of Days of Future Past, and then watching people die in the beginning or the throughout Suicide Squad.
except Days of Future
You know,
Past, it's like that shit was peak.
Yeah, exactly.
Suicide Squad's the fucking
Exactly.
worst. Oh my
Yeah.
god, dude. And then of course they come out in like the 11th hour and they're like, "Oh no, those are just clones. It's not really them." And it's just
I
like,
mean, not even 11th hour. It's the 20th hour. It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's you didn't make it. You didn't make it in time.
yeah. It was literally like months later in the DLC that nobody played. They were like, "Oh yeah, now we're finally gonna reveal that they were actually clones and the Justice League isn't dead, except Wonder Woman's actually dead because you know, let's just ruin everybody's day."
Which is crazy because, like, again, they were like they lost all that money, and they're like, okay, we can bring them back with DLC. This is like I would
Live
say,
service DLC, by the way,
right.
the worst
Oh, I
kind of DLC.
wow. So I'll give you another comparison. Compare that with like oh, what was my train of thought? Oh yeah, with like Morbius coming out, right? Garbage shit. What happens? What happens, Michael? They fucking get convinced. They're like, wait a second, we can run with this. They put it out again. Like they just lost more money, and that's exactly what Suicide Squad did with the DLC. Like, we can fix it a little bit. That if that's the only problem, shit.
Yeah. I was like, guys, no one cares anymore. You pissed everyone off. Everybody left. Like, no one's playing this
No
game.
one buys the game for a DLC that might fix why you may have wanted to buy the game in the first place.
Yeah, I'm like, guys,
75% off, not worth it.
yeah, especially because it just like it's like no one believes in the hope that like you're gonna go back on the core concept of the game at this point. It's been like 6, 7
Well, it's
months.
stupid.
Yeah,
Even if like I lost respect for them for doing it, even though it was like the right decision. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Like just the fact that you have to do it in the first place is already like honestly, what are you even doing?
yeah,
Just trying to fix it. You're wasting your time. It's not even worth it.
yeah. It's too late. You already
For so
ruined
many
it.
reasons.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's
But
not
like
even.
okay,
And
whatever,
I don't
man.
know. Like, I part of me, I'm not sure, obviously, because I don't wasn't in a fucking meeting with Rocksteady or whatever. But like, it part of it kind of seems like it was the intended ending of the DLC, like to begin with, because the DLC stuff was technically in the game right away, but they did it like seasonally or whatever, and like each different like multiverse version of Brainiac that you fight gives you like a new cutscene or something that progresses like the post game DLC story or whatever,
Yeah.
and and that so like those cutscenes or whatever it was builds up to the reveal at the very end after you beat like the 12th Brainiac or whatever that uh you actually succeed in rescuing the like after the last Brainiac dies, the whatever the Justice League was being held captive by deactivates and they're like, "Oh yeah, thanks for, freeing us," or whatever. And that's when you learn for real that like they were just like all the evil Justice League members you'd been killing all that time were just evil versions of them or clones of them, and that it wasn't actually them. And it's like maybe that was the plan all along, but it also felt very much like a we need to not have everybody hate us type of thing. And because it was constantly being updated over like 7, 8 months or whatever it was, it feels like they could have very easily just shoehorned that in because the
Oh, for sure.
because the cutscene isn't even like a real cutscene. It's kind of like murals that move slightly, if that makes sense. Like animated
Sure.
pictures, like
Yeah, yeah,
okay, like
yeah. Cave
like
paintings.
yeah, like
Brother Bear.
yeah,
You
yeah,
haven't seen
kind
Brother
of,
Bear.
kind of. I was gonna say it's kind of like when you do like the tower mode in like the Injustice games, how they don't have
Uh-huh.
actual cutscenes at the end of those, but they have like the it's like an image of
Yeah.
the character and they're moving a little bit, like the image is moving, and then it's like narrating on top of that image. That's the cutscene you get
Mm.
when you finish the DLC.
It's
So
like
it's
the end
not,
of Injustice.
yeah, so it's not even like a full, it's not even a real cutscene where they actually had the characters moving and stuff. It's like, a moving picture of the Justice League being free and then narration on top of that picture. being like, oh yeah, we learned they're not actually the Justice League and it was clones the whole time and we actually rescued the real Justice League. Good for us. And it's just like maybe that was the plan the whole time, but it doesn't really
I think
feel
you're
like
giving them
that.
too much credit. Yeah,
Yeah.
with
Especially because
that.
there's so in order to like come to the conclusion of hopefully they're clones or maybe they are clones before that happened, you had to really nitpick very specific details and be like, oh, well, this little thing could potentially
Yeah,
mean that it was a clone. And because there's nothing explicitly saying that's not true, we're going to choose to believe it's true or else it's dumb.
right. Because technically it fits in
Yeah,
now
yeah.
retrospectively.
And it always felt far too convenient and open ended for it to have been the plan the whole time.
Yeah, I would just assume, if anything, that like whatever connections people are drawing for the most part are almost certainly, obviously not 100%, but almost certainly just like coincidence from either vague writing, whether intentional or not, but just like vague or bad writing.
Yeah.
I think it's causing could be causing a lot of those like parallels as well.
Hmm. Yeah, the game's so bad. It's just fucking terrible. And
Yeah, who knows, man? At some point, Suicide Squad will have an adaptation that isn't a mark of shit.
yeah,
Okay, I mean, let's not exaggerate, but like the moving average of the Suicide Squad name has been in the fucking gutter for a long time now, unfortunately. And this didn't do anything to help.
I think the only thing you could really give the game about the Suicide Squad is it's like the only adaptation of the Suicide Squad that got like the dynamic of the team correctly,
Mm,
where it's like they're bad guys. They're not like misfits that have redeemable qualities but do bad stuff and then become a found family. They're just fucking evil and they're forced
yeah.
to do good or else they'll be exploded. And it's like
Mm,
that because the movies both get that completely fucking wrong. They're like they treat it like Guardians of the Galaxy. They're like, oh, it's a
right.
bunch of
They're all in it
outcasts that
together.
they're not actually that bad deep down. It's like, no, the Suicide Squad is a bunch of psychopaths that enjoy killing people that are forced to do something good. Otherwise they'll
Which is
be
what they
killed.
communicate. Yeah, and they communicate that in the first 20,
Yeah. But that's not the
15
dynamic.
minutes, but that's not what they
Yeah.
show for the
Like
rest of the
even
movie.
in like the second one that people love, even though it's the same fucking movie as the first one, is
I mean, it's better, but you can't. To say love seems like a very strong,
but it's like there's like the
strong thing to
scene
say.
where like they're all I guess on a bus or something going somewhere and like Bloodsport and Ratcatcher and Harley and all of them have like this moment where they're all like talking about their tragic backstories and why they're not
Right.
actually that bad of people and they're all like, "Oh yeah, let's be friends." I'm like, that's not the Suicide Squad. Like the Suicides, they don't give a fuck about each other. It's a bunch of C-listers who just want to go home. Like they like they're not supposed to be friends and they're not supposed to love each other and have like some small piece of like, oh yeah, I actually do care about the world. It's like they don't. That's the point. Is they're just evil,
Yeah.
and the movies want to turn them into the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm just like, it's not the
Well, they
same
want to
thing.
cater to like kids probably
I mean, the
and
movies are
shit.
rated R, so it's like, or the
I
second
mean,
one
yeah,
is,
but like I guess like kids, I mean just like adolescents, but like still. I mean, you're right, but like they're trying to cater to a larger audience than what they should. Like let's say like families versus like, you know,
sure,
um, just guys.
sure. I'm still at,
Incorrect decision
yeah,
though.
it's dumb. It's just it's a bad adaptation of a concept.
I did at least like enjoy the second Suicide Squad movie a lot more than I enjoyed the first movie, and like at least yeah, at least it was watchable, and there were like a couple of good spots I thought, um, but to say loved or like to hold it up on a pedestal would be kind of nuts
Which
for me.
it blows my mind when people like compare the plot of the two, and they'll be like, "Oh, the plot of the Suicide Squad is so much better than Suicide Squad," and I'm like, it's the same plot. Like, it's literally the same plot. It's like
Uh,
there's a group of supervillains, and Harley's one of them, and they're
but El
all
Diablo, Michael,
no,
El
no, 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 no,
Diablo
no,
is what we
no. And
try.
they're all conscripted to go do some Black Ops shit. And then one of the people, and then the government tries to imprison some god tier being, Enchantress the first
Right.
time, Starro the second time. And then because the government tries to imprison this god tier being, the god tier being breaks out and uses
Mm.
irreversible mind control to take over the world. And then the Suicide Squad desperately tries to stop this god tier being with mind control powers, and then Harley defeats this god tier being with mind control powers with a basic fucking weapon, pistol the first time,
Mm.
spear the second time, and then the movie ends. And I'm like, it's exactly
They're
the
pretty different.
same fucking thing. Like, no part of it's different at all. Like,
But El Diablo's sad.
I don't care. I don't care that he accidentally murdered his whole family. Like, don't be a criminal. That like don't be a gangster.
True. Actually, pretty true though.
Don't be
Yeah,
a
I
gangster who
actually felt
burns
that way
people
as well
alive
when
for
I
a
watched the
living.
movie.
Like it's just, and that's the
Yeah, I
same
also
thing. They're like,
struggled to feel sorry for
it's
him,
like
even
when
though I appreciated the effort, but like from a because it just didn't feel like they were putting in that much effort in the first movie.
yeah, but it's like
But like still, it's hard to root for.
even in the second one with like Bloodsport and Ratcatcher having their little moment, and it's just like, okay, Bloodsport is a hired assassin who kills people for no reason other than to make money,
Right.
and Ratcatcher, I don't know how, I can't remember how much they went into her backstory, but like it's just like she's like sad that her dad died, and I'm like, your dad was a supervillain and he got executed for being a supervillain. Tough. Like,
Yeah.
and then they're trying to frame it like that she had to become a supervillain as well to like cope or something. And I'm like, okay, but
Fuck,
like you
fuck
making
yeah.
bad choices because your dad made bad choices doesn't make you
Doesn't
emotionally.
absolve you of like you
Yeah, I
should
mean,
not be like trying to take any kind of moral
yeah,
high
yeah,
ground
it
or
doesn't
like
make you
masquerade
emotionally
as like
or
a hero.
exactly, yeah. It doesn't make you emotionally or morally relatable. It just makes you stupid. And Bloodsport being the one that you're like trying to connect with. And I'm like, Bloodsport is just a murderer. Like, there's literally nothing deeper to him than that. And it's just like,
Well, that was the problem with Deadshot too, but
yeah. But at least they tried to give Deadshot like a daughter and stuff to be like, oh
yeah,
yeah.
at least
And
they
Deadshot
put
does
something
have
together.
rules. Like Deadshot won't kill kids.
Yeah.
Like at least there are certain things with Deadshot's character where it's like he does have rules and Bloodsport doesn't have
Yeah.
rules. And then they try to make Bloodsport like how Deadshot was. And it's just like it's not the same. Fucking hate all the Suicide Squad stuff, man. I need it all to go away.
You know what? You know, untapped market TV show, Suicide Squad. What if it could work? They
You
just
know
get the
what?
dynamic right.
I will say there's like a Suicide Squad like animated movie that they did that's actually pretty solid. Like it's not like great, but it does the concept correctly. Like they're all just bad and most of them die on the mission. And they're going up against they're going up against Thawne, which is cool. Like like going up against
Cool.
Reverse Flash is a unique thing that doesn't really
That's
happen
pretty.
very often. And he
Yeah.
beats the shit out of most of them, obviously, because he's fucking Reverse Flash. And it's
Yeah.
just like, but they do a much better job of like keeping them all evil in that story, and there's not like really anything redeeming about them and whatnot. And they do all basically die to beat him. It takes everything, which is another
Just
thing that the movies never get right.
just a couple basic ingredients for a good suicide, filmmakers, DC, whatever. This is the ingredients for a good Suicide Squad adaptation. You need it to be like you need to get the dynamic right between like the disposition of the characters. You really just have to nail the characterization. You've got to get like the power levels correct. And I had another thing too. You definitely got to do those two things.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all gotta stop trying to make the Suicide Squad fight gods. It's so dumb. It has to stop. Like, that's not their mission. Like, the fact that, like, the three biggest Suicide Squad adaptation projects are, like, them trying to fight an ancient goddess and them trying to fight a space monster that is basically a god, and then trying to fight the actual Justice League, and it's like, and Brainiac, and it's like, that's so far above their pay grade.
Bring it down. Can we give
Like,
them something manageable, like a
yeah,
problem they can solve?
like, and that's like the thing in the animated movie I'm talking about. Like, yes, they're going up against Reverse Flash, but he's like injured. Like, the whole thing is he's trying to like literally outrun death or something like that, and because he's injured, and they're basically trying to stop him. There's like a magic totem or something that, like, if you're holding it when you die, you get like get out of hell free card, basically. Like, literally,
Nice.
like, actually, you, like, if you're supposed to go to hell, you won't. And so Thawne is after that, and they're trying to stop him from getting that so that he can't, like, come back to life,
Sure.
basically. And him being injured plays into it because he's not as fast due to it. And
Right.
and his powers are like cutting out here and there, so like sometimes he'll be fast and then he'll just suddenly lose his powers for a few minutes and stuff like that. So they did a good job of being like, he's still way stronger than them and he does kill most of them, but he's weakened to a certain extent where it's like not ridiculous that they're winning at the end.
Yeah, more believable. Yeah, it's got us past the smell test, as they say.
Yeah. Whereas, like, I could watch the newer Suicide Squad movie 400 times, and I could still never tell you how they beat Starro.
Yeah.
I could
Well,
never.
as soon as they announced that shit, that was like,
Yeah, I mean, the thing that they announced Starro was
everyone
that.
just open.
Uh,
I'm surprised they like headstrong led into that because it feels like something they would just be worried about and like shoehorn in.
yeah,
And you're just like, you're in the movie and you're realizing but like they advertise, they're like, people love Starro.
yeah, yeah.
Bro, people
The original, like,
know
the
Starro,
fact that
bro.
they took like the original Justice League villain and made him a fucking Suicide Squad villain, and I'm just like, that's absolutely fucking crazy. Like,
There are levels to the disrespect.
like, you can't do that, bro. Like, stop.
Multiple violations in one fell swoop.
It's like, you know who gets called when Starro shows up? Everybody. That's how much of a threat Starro is. Like,
Yeah, that's calling all Titans. All right,
yeah,
like
like,
it's all hands on deck.
if
Moment.
Starro pulls up, the Justice League is like, okay, everybody that's not part of the team, we need your help. Stop what you're doing because we got a fucking problem. And in this movie, it's like, Harley Quinn can fucking handle it. No big deal.
Yeah, why not? She's an independent woman,
Yeah.
and she's unstoppable.
Also, the fact that, like, in that movie, Starro only tries to take control of the Suicide Squad's minds once, and then he doesn't try again for the rest of
Yeah,
the movie. And I'm like, did you run out of fucking ammo? What happened? Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I remember that shit. Because that they were talking up, and you're like, okay, we're finally going to see some Starro. You know, the what Starro's actually no.
yep. They all just cover their mouths that one time, and then Starro's like, well, that didn't work. Can't try again. And it's like, what do you mean?
Got the fucking meme where it's like, you got me. Well, the most minimal effort because
Yeah,
Starro is just a big starfish.
yeah. And then, yeah. Or just even like the way that they kill him with like the spear, like she throws the spear into his eye, he just instantly dies. And it's like, or like, no, she throws the spear into his eye, and then the rats will like climb inside of it and kill him or something like that. But it's like, okay,
Yeah.
machine guns and tanks and missiles and shit all bounced off of Starro.
Sure.
Why did a spear pierce his flesh? And then why are rat teeth stronger than missiles? They're not magic rats. They're just rats. Like, how did they hurt him?
It's like that thing where spiders' webs are like, stronger than steel.
To
It's
scale,
like that, Michael.
If the spiders were the size of buildings, then maybe.
Yeah.
If they were giant rats, I might give it to you.
Yep. Yeah, maybe that'd be true. Maybe that's all they're. But I mean, one giant rat or
Nope,
100
that's
rats,
not how that
it's the
works.
same. It's the same.
Nope,
It's simple math.
nope,
Simple
that's
math.
not how it works.
It's just additive.
God, I hate that movie. I think I
What
hate
reason?
I think I hate that movie more than the second one or the first one, just because of like how people
Really?
glaze it. What just because of like the fact that everyone agrees
I
the
guess I
first
never
movie.
felt like people like glazing it.
Oh no, they do though. People glaze the hell out of the movie. People are gonna be mad that you
I,
agreed with me that it's not good or that it's only
really?
okay. Yeah,
I think it's okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's.
yeah.
I don't
Even
think it was
even
bad,
that though,
like
saying
demonstrably bad.
no, yeah, even that
It's
though,
fine.
even saying it's only okay, people are gonna be like, you're fucking crazy.
I enjoyed it a lot more than the first movie, but like I'm not gonna say it was great
Yeah.
because
There
it
are
wasn't.
definitely parts of it that I did like parts that were
Yeah,
better than the first movie. Like I
there
like
were good. There were good spots. Yeah.
like the scene when Peacemaker and Bloodsport kill everybody in that camp. Like that part's cool. Like when they're stealth mode going through the camp and they kill everyone, like that's cool. And the final fight between like Peacemaker and Flag was cool, and
Yeah. Agreed.
a few other things like that. Like, some of the action sequences are pretty dope, but yeah, the
Yeah.
story itself, I was just like, this is so fucking dumb. The Starro of it all was also the fact that they like tried to victimize Starro and make it be like, oh, he was just floating through space minding his own business, and then the government
Yeah.
captured him, and the reason he wants to kill everybody is because the government was mean to him. And I'm like,
Yeah. Why put that in? What's the who to gain?
yeah, and I'm like, Starro's species is literally called Star Conquerors. Like,
Yeah,
that's
it's like
what
in
they
his
do.
DNA.
Like
Why
they,
would it ever? What are you even writing? Do you understand what you're writing?
yeah,
Because clearly not.
it's
You're
like
like rewriting Starro as a character,
yeah,
basically.
it's like Starro likes to kill planets because that's what his species does. It's not even like personal, it's just what they do. It doesn't have to be deeper than that.
How do you choose Starro, Michael? How do you choose Starro as a villain, and that is how you choose to use him?
Yeah.
Like,
It'd be like making Darkseid the main villain of a Justice League movie and then being like, "Oh, well his mom was really mean to him, so this is why he's an asshole."
yeah,
It's like he's
yeah,
just
that's
evil.
better enough.
Like
Sure.
Darkseid is evil because he's evil conceptually. That's it. There's nothing more to it. He's evil because he must be evil. And that's what Starro is. Like he conquers
Did Disney
planets.
have a hand in that movie or something?
Who
Like,
knows,
what?
man? It's like
Maybe somebody associated with Disney was, because like it doesn't need. We don't need a happy. We don't need to. Because on a somewhat different rant, but it's not like I need to go through examples. But like Disney used to be a lot of animated, but I think Disney for sure definitely had that where like every villain is like not a villain. No,
sure.
no, there are no villains in any Disney movie. Like, okay, I'm just saying that this is the case for several movies. Um,
I would say
but
like
like,
in between like classic Disney and I would say
modern Disney.
I was gonna say in between classic and modern, but modern still does it too. But
Yeah, yeah.
because I mean, if you point to things like
It's not every movie.
I was
It's
gonna
not
say, if you
even
point
close
to
to every
any of
movie.
like the classics though, like Cinderella or like
They're evil,
Little Mermaid or Sleeping Beauty or whatever, it's like those villains are just evil. Like
right?
even
Yeah,
Scar, it's like
Scar is
he has more
evil.
motivation, right? Like it's jealousy, sure, whatever, but he's still just evil.
Yeah,
Like there's nothing. He didn't get hurt as a child or something to make him into an
true.
asshole. He's just
Yeah,
jealous.
yeah. He's literally just jealous at being weaker, basically. I
Yeah,
think that's his whole mo.
but yeah, it is definitely a thing nowadays. A lot of I'd say more of like live action Disney
Maybe more
projects
nowadays.
love doing that. Like especially
Yeah.
like reimaginings of those types of characters. Like now
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna use an example that is not a good example because the movies are fucking great, but like the
Mm,
two Maleficent movies
yeah.
with
Awesome.
Angelina Jolie are fucking dope. But obviously that's like the whole thing of that movie is that like she's not actually evil. Like she is evil. She does do evil
Right.
shit, but she has a very good reason for doing the evil shit. And then she has
Right.
like a whole redemption arc and whatnot. And it's like Disney loves doing that nowadays.
Oh yeah.
But like they don't usually do it well. Like that movie does it well, and
Agreed.
most versions, it's just kind of like, they're not really that bad. They said sorry. It's all
Right.
good.
And again, it's like the first 20, 30 minutes of that movie, you'll be believing that this is, oh wow, this guy's evil. This witch, evil as fuck. What the fuck? You're just like, oh my god, this is great. You're invested, and then like, this is a curse. It's been passed down, or whatever. It's like I just have to deal with it, or some bullshit. Obviously, it's a million things.
Yeah. I think they were actually, I think someone made like a video and they were talking about like comparing DreamWorks villains to Disney villains, and I'm pretty sure this was what they were talking about, was that like DreamWorks
The big
villains,
defining factor.
yeah, like DreamWorks villains don't do this very often, and even the ones that do have like more tragic elements to their backstory don't apologize for what they've become.
Yeah, there's
Like,
not a lot of remorse and redemption are very common themes in Disney, usually both, but always
yeah, yeah,
remorse
yeah,
from the villain seemingly. For the situations that we're talking
yeah.
about.
Whereas like DreamWorks villains, they don't give a fuck, bro. Like even the ones that are like where like you see like because there are some good examples. Like Kung Fu Panda has great examples of this, but like
Yeah,
because even like Tai Lung, it's like you see for like a split second when Poe like explains how there's no magic to the scroll or whatever,
right,
and you see in Tai Lung's face for like half a second that he like almost doesn't want to keep being evil, but then he's like,
right.
fuck
It's
it,
too
and he
far
tries
gone.
to kill him. Anyway, like yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
just he's but then the dark part of him is just like, nah, fuck it. I don't care. And
too late for that.
yeah, and that's kind of like as far as a villain backtracking as DreamWorks ever goes, is they'll have like you'll see that like they could potentially choose not to be evil, but then they still choose to be evil anyway because that's who they are.
Right. Yeah,
I think Tangled does that really well. Mother
yeah,
Mother Gothel don't give a fuck.
yeah. I that is one that stuck out to my mind as well. Like in terms of being evil, um, and sticking to it. That's a good example.
Frozen
And more
surprisingly does a good job with that.
I,
Hans is an
Frozen is the
asshole.
other movie
Hans is a
that
fucking douche. That man doesn't care.
so for a while after Frozen came out, I saw it a couple times. Like I wasn't really impressed by it. I hated the hype it was being given, and we've already talked about that. But
Yeah.
like at the time it was like insane. The Frozen fever shit was absolutely nuts. But like the fucking obviously the twist, the early I guess whenever the twist is revealed, um, is crazy. But then like how evil he is like I was impressed. Yeah, for a Disney movie for sure.
Yeah.
That was like a large part that I enjoyed that I didn't really expect to.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was a big thing for why people glazed that movie so much too, because I don't think anybody really saw that
Yeah.
coming. It was just kind of like
Well, it's like apropos of nothing.
Yeah.
They're telling the story about like the sisters, and like you're kind of like, oh, okay, like something's going on here, and you're trying to, and then all of a sudden, boom,
Yeah.
and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Especially like when they, introduce Kristoff and then it's kind of like, oh, like there's two love interests. This is kind of bizarre. Like
Right,
this doesn't usually happen. And you're kind of
right.
like
But
you're
then
kind of like
then
who's it
there's the
going to
sisters, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
well, maybe this will just work
Yeah.
itself out.
And then Hans is like, psych bitch, I'm evil. And you're like, what?
Yeah. You're like, oh, okay, this is just like how it was done in these kind of kingdoms. They're kind of like courting and like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
they're kind of like each other, and like, oh, it's kind of it's a Disney
yeah.
meet cute. It's just the same fucking
Right.
like. By the time that those words like want to utter your mouth, like my mouth, literally, when I'm like looking at the screen and been like watching it for the first time, and I'm like, this is just a boom.
Yeah.
They get you.
He's like, damn, you're dying. That
The timing, I think,
sucks.
it's really cool.
Like,
Yeah. The timing, I think, was really good.
yeah, it was so well
for
done.
that twist as well. But yeah, for someone that I'm not going to glaze that movie, but great part of it for sure.
All right. We got super off topics. All right, I'm gonna talk about the few movies real quick, and then we'll jump into my hero. I'm gonna try to be fast with my movie thing. So I'm gonna talk about Disclosure Day for like 2 seconds, and then Toy Story 5 for a little bit, and then I'll do my Supergirl review or whatever.
Yeah.
Before I start talking about the Supergirl stuff, though, I'm not really gonna spoil anything. Like, I'm not. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil anything. But like, if I spoil like very minor details, do you care?
No, for Supergirl,
Yeah, like not
no.
things that are like not plot stuff, but
If
like
it's then no. If that's the case, then
just
no.
like very small details.
Yeah, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Go ahead.
All right.
Fire away.
First of all, Disclosure Day was pretty mid. Um,
Mm.
like it was okay. Like it had. I'll say this: it had like an interesting concept to it, and like it felt like it had something interesting to say. And
What was it about?
it was like
I haven't seen it.
it was
I
these
haven't seen it like trailers.
yeah it was like this company was trying to keep the existence of like aliens a secret from the world, and the
Okay.
main guy is trying to expose the truth to the world. That's pretty much the whole plot.
Okay.
And it was kind of an interesting take on that whole concept of like aliens being real, but like it's not, a big alien invasion action movie. It's not like Independence Day type shit, and it's more along the lines of like Story of Your Life or Arrival for the uncultured people who know it by that name.
Okay.
Which is also a fucking stupid movie. But
Whoa, yeah. We you
ter-
can't just throw that
absolutely,
in there.
absolutely horrible adaptation of the story it's
Oh,
based on. It's absolutely horrendous. It's
well,
it's
you
objectively
can.
bad.
I'll put it this way: you don't have to piss anybody off by saying that. In my opinion, you can't say people are gonna be inflamed that you say it's a terrible movie.
If it were self-contained, if it weren't an adaptation of something, I would say that it's a decent movie. But it is an
Decent.
adaptation of something, and it's
I guess you
terrible
could say it's
as a result. Because it misses the entire fucking point of the story it's adapting. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. Um, but it's more like that, where it's like aliens show up, but they
mm,
just kind of want to hang out. Like they're not
sure.
like they're not a threat.
It's not like yeah, one way or the other, obviously.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it had like some cool concepts as far as that was concerned, and it did some interesting stuff, and it was like well directed and acted and all that fun stuff. But it kind of feels like it keeps building to like this pressure cooker moment where something big's gonna happen, and then something big does sort of happen, but it never really feels like it pays off the anticipation 100%. Like you keep waiting for something crazy to happen and it never does. And then it just ends and you're like, okay.
Kind of
Like
sad.
it's not super inventive as far as like the whole alien. Like there were lots of moments when I was watching it where I was like, yeah, I've seen this before in the sense
Right.
of like you're not really doing anything uh, not I don't want to like criticize it for not doing anything new because it's hard to do like new like truly new
Sure.
stuff with especially with alien invasion type things, but like
But for the concept, I think
but they
maybe
were
like
trying to be kind of highbrow with it and it doesn't really land because it's not that complicated. Like the
interesting.
the way they want you to feel about it is that it's like this super deep complicated emotional version of an alien story, but it's not really that complicated. Or in the sense of like it's very obviously kind of ripping off stuff from like Story of Your Life or whatever, where it's
Yeah.
like you're doing the same thing that did,
Right.
and they already did that, and it's not that it's bad, but it's the same thing. It's just it's
Right.
slightly
Not as
different
good.
lens. It's like okay, fine, whatever. But it was okay.
Okay.
Toy Story 5 was fucking
Well, no.
peak.
Oh, peak.
That okay, and I'm gonna go crazy right now. Okay.
Because
New
I
new
mean,
new Toy Story ranking coming out right now.
oh
All
no.
right. From top to bottom. All
Top,
five all
okay,
five Toy
sure.
Story
All
movies.
five. Yeah, top five. Yeah, let's hear it. Holy.
3, 5, 2, 1, 4.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I mean 5 was just
Five.
5
Yeah.
was so fucking good. I mean like
Wow.
it was
Is this the end of Toy Story?
it could be.
If let me ask you this: if there's a Toy Story 6, does it make the movie worse?
Not necessarily. No, no. I don't think it doesn't end in a way that like Toy Story 3 ends, where like
That's basically what I'm asking.
yeah, okay, real quick, yeah. So it's not like how I saw someone talking about this too, where it's like they were saying how like Toy Story 4 existing is an abomination because of how perfect Toy Story
Right.
3 is. And
Regardless of the movie,
it's like
just its
that's true.
existence.
Like it shouldn't exist, but it's too late for that. And Toy Story 4 is still good, even though it's not. It's definitely the worst of the
Yeah, it's still a
five,
good movie.
but it's still very good. But this movie does not end in that way where it's like if they make another one, it's like how fucking dare you, like they did with 3. Like I
Right.
don't think that'll really happen again because I don't think that they're I just don't think they're gonna end a Toy Story movie the way that they ended Toy Story 3, where they clearly thought that it was gonna be the end. Because I don't think that they're ever gonna think that again, you know, because they know at this point, they have the fucking sauce when it comes to Toy Story, like they never miss. So it's like
I mean, with the trailers though, the technology, it looked like it was
they
setting up
they did
for
that
a
so
big.
well.
They did it so
They did it
well.
so well. It
The
was so well.
concept was frightening.
It was
I
so
mean, we
well
were
done.
talking that it was like it looked terrible,
It was so well done.
potentially terrible.
It was. I just there's nothing wrong. They did it so well. Like, and I
Wow.
will say, some people are mad about the fact that like Jesse kind of fully becomes like the main character in this one,
Okay.
and people who are mad about that need to go fuck off because it's like,
Who
first of
cares,
all,
man?
Jesse has the best arc out of anybody in Toy Story.
That's
And
true,
it's not
but
even remote.
that's like
And
easy.
this movie makes it way better. Like they take
Mm.
like some of her, and the reason I have this above 2 is because even though the emotional stuff for Jesse in 2 is really 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 fucking peak,
Right.
they I think improve on every aspect of her like emotional trauma and abandonment stuff in this movie.
Okay, if you're telling me it's a Jesse movie, then I could start to understand why
Yeah,
it
no,
could
it's a Jesse
potentially
movie. It's
be
100% Jesse's movie.
like as high on the list because they
And
did do Jesse
they
really well.
directly go back to all of her traumatic shit from 2 and expand on
Okay.
her specific abandonment in that movie, comes back
Right.
around and has like some very very emotionally impactful moments and stuff like that. And they did a good job too where like Woody is still in the like he comes back and he obviously like helps out and stuff, but he's very much like leveled up to like the mentor type character where he doesn't
Right.
really drive the plot anymore. Like he shows up and he
Mm.
has like some, you know, iconic moments and lines and stuff like that, but he's not in charge of driving the story forward anymore. Like his story
Right.
is 100% done. Like at the end of 4.
Right.
At the end of 4, he's done. Like he's not going to develop anymore. He just will show up, you know, in
Okay.
sequels as like, "Hey, I'm still here," but like
Mm.
he's not even
Percy
really.
Jackson.
Yeah, 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 kind of. Um And Buzz is a little bit more central to it still, just because he's still like at the same house as Jesse, so like he's still with, and obviously like he and Jesse being a thing is still like, so
Ah,
he's still gonna be pretty central to it, but like Buzz is also pretty much done with character development, you know, at this point
yeah,
as
I was
well.
about to say.
Like he gets a little bit more in this movie, just a tiny bit, just like between like the dealing with his relationship with Jesse, but
Yeah.
um but beyond that, he's pretty much done as well. But yeah, no, this is definitely a Jesse movie, and the way they do the tech stuff is like it's just so fucking good. Um, and uh, yeah, I mean,
Wow.
yeah,
That was
without directly spoiling stuff,
shocker
it's
of the
just
day
yeah, it's
for
so good,
sure.
dude.
Is to hear that this could be worth my time.
You should go see it. It's fucking about it's dope.
I mean, at this point,
It's still in
I'm highly
theaters.
incentivized to. Probably not gonna see it in theaters, but probably see it now. Versus there was like 0% chance I was ever watching this movie a week ago.
Yeah, yeah, and the other
I'm just gonna
reason
make fun of it, if anything.
it's weird too. I have seen these people are 100% in the minority. This is not, but I've seen a handful of people just being like, "Oh, they fucking." I saw someone say that this movie does to Toy Story what TLJ did to Star Wars, and I was like, "That's the dumbest thing anyone's ever said in the history of the world." Like,
Well.
Like that's just objectively wrong. Like I don't know
It's a
what the
hell of
fuck
a
that guy
statement.
was smoking, but like, and he didn't mean it in like a being a fan of the sequels way, you know. He meant it as like someone who hates the sequels.
I assumed, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So, and I was like, you're
Like that's the
fucking
damaging
crazy.
thought of it.
I was like, you're fucking crazy. Like, that's not what happened. Uh, yeah, no, it was very, very, very good.
But that's always like a non-zero amount of people. But that's very surprising.
Yeah, I
I
think
guess that's good news for. I guess that's good news. Yeah.
I
Shit.
I think it's like of movies I've seen in theaters this year. I think it's like my third, yeah, top three this year out of
Have you seen
movies
Obsession?
I have. That's number two.
Oh,
Obsession was
all right. I
peak.
got. Yeah, that's on the short list for me.
Yeah, yeah. Project Hail Mary, Obsession, and Toy Story 5 are my top three for this year so far.
Oh, that's right.
And I
Project
have I have
Hail
all
Mary.
those as 9 out of 10s,
Yeah. Well.
and I don't give 10 out of 10s, so that's basically perfect.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah, okay, Supergirl. Oh, first, okay. When I went to go see Supergirl, there was this hilarious thing. So there's a new like Tom Cruise movie coming out, I guess in a couple months. I can't
Okay.
remember what it's called, but the trailer for it super weird. So the trailer starts, and it's a shot from like one of the Mission Impossible movies, and I was like, well, that's
Yeah.
weird that they're showing like a shot from like Mission Impossible 2 or something. and
Oh.
and I thought for a second I was like, are they bringing or is like are they re-releasing Mission Impossible like one in theaters or something like because that's not uncommon
Yeah.
these days. I was like, okay, sure,
Sure.
show us the Mission
It's been
Impossible.
quite
Oh,
long
that's not
enough,
what it was.
honestly.
The very first shot, it was a Top Gun trailer, original Top Gun, and I was like,
Oh.
okay, maybe they're re-releasing it, but they just did that when Maverick came out, so I don't know why they'd be doing it again. um and then it switched to like a Mission Impossible shot, and then it keeps going for like 3 or 4 minutes, and they literally created like a montage hype reel of like every single Tom Cruise movie ever. And then at the end of the reel, they show like 10 seconds, 20 seconds from this new movie, and they're like, "Oh, Tom Cruise new movie coming out in like 3 months." And then after the reel was over, and after the trailer slash hype reel of all of Tom Cruise's work was over, there was it goes to like a black screen, and it had a list written out of every Tom Cruise movie, and it said available to stream. And I was like, and literally the title of every single Tom Cruise movie that exists.
What the
And I was
fuck?
like, that is the most diabolically shameless plug in the history of the world. Like
Holy
in the movie
fuck!
theater. And I was like, do they think that people haven't seen all of Tom Cruise's movies? I was like, what is happening right now?
But even like,
It was
what?
so weird.
Why?
And
What?
the weird thing is it only flashed on screen for like 1 second, so you wouldn't have even had time to read more than like one movie title anyway. So I was like it was so bizarre. I was like, why would you release, they're in trying to promote a new Tom Cruise movie. They show a hype reel of all of his movies that's like 5 minutes long, and then a short little teaser for the new movie, and then another little slideshow thing saying, "Hey, look, all of Tom Cruise's movies are available to stream." And it's like, yeah, we know, bro. Like, it was
Yeah.
weird, and I thought it was
Well,
hilarious. Honestly, I was like, that's crazy that they just plugged all of Tom Cruise's fucking movies in one trailer.
bro, these people were like, all right, we want a huge star for this new comedy film. Let's get Tom Cruise. All right, I think we Tom Cruise says, all right, it's gonna be $150 million. Okay, well, Tom Cruise, we can't pay you $150 million. How about like 80? All right, how about this? How about like 70? But the preview is all my all my movie. You advertise every movie I've ever been in
Yeah,
that I'm still collecting royalty checks on. You put that in. It says it's referencing his 46-year anniversary, which you have an
sure.
anniversary every year, folks. I'm sorry, it's just not that
And 46 is not a
important for
milestone.
46 is not a milestone for an
Anything.
actor. I don't think. I apologize, but I'm not going to apologize. I actually hate Tom Cruise. I'm not going to talk about I'm not going to talk about that. But maybe another time if we ever need to talk about Tom Cruise movies. But 46, yeah, it's not a milestone, man. So why?
It was weird, but it was funny.
And if this movie turns out to be shit, it just makes it even more hilarious, but I mean, as much as I hate Tom Cruise, he fucking makes a spicy meatball.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not like I don't hate him, but I'm not necessarily a huge Tom Cruise fan either. But I was like, we know that Tom Cruise has had like almost no bad movies. You can relax, like we get it. Like
Yeah, but like, what the
yeah,
fuck,
it
man?
was funny. I almost like laughed out. I was like, what the fuck was that? I like looked around the theater to see if anyone
It's
else
3 minutes
Yeah,
long.
I looked around the theater to see if anyone else reacted to it. I was like, did we all just watch the fucking Tom Cruise hype reel, or did I have a stroke? Like,
Wow, they even pull out fucking Interview with the Vampire.
yeah, no, literally everything. There's at least like 1 second of like every movie he's ever been in. It's fucking crazy.
The Furman. Wow, I guess I maybe it's on that list. Maybe it's on that list of fucking movies they have at the end. Oh my god. Wait, let's see. Is The Firm on there? Okay, I don't see The Firm. It's not all of his movies, guys. Fucking, they fucked up. They missed one.
But yeah. Anyway, so Supergirl.
Yeah.
The general consensus at this point appears to be that it's a 6 out of 10, which
Yikes.
is well, it's not that bad actually. Especially like, okay, well, I'll say this part first.
For the hype, I guess,
Comparing
is
it,
I guess what I'm
comparing it
saying.
to um like Phase One MCU, since that's basically what DCU is in right now. Uh,
Mhm.
it's rated higher than most of Phase One of the MCU, which might be surprising for some people to realize, because apparently, like, I think it's
It
higher.
took some time for the Phase One
Yeah,
movies
like
to really kick off.
the only things I think it's not higher than in the general consensus are Captain America 1 and Iron Man 1, but
Yeah, makes
Thor,
sense.
Thor, Hulk, and Iron Man 2, it's rated higher than all three of those. Anyway, and Avengers, obviously it's not rated higher than Avengers.
Yeah.
Because Avengers is fucking peak. But anyway, my initial reaction when I came out of the theater was I really actually wanted to give it an 8 out of
Really?
10, but I couldn't because there were enough things that were kind of bothering me that I was like, I have to say 7 out of 10.
Okay. Okay, so you're saying 7.
7 out of 10, yeah. And I think one thing, well, I'll just go down my list of stuff that I have written down.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind
But
of
I
dis
definitely want to know what I mean, you go through your thing. I definitely am curious what you think is different from what the audience
so
is
one
reading about.
one big thing people have been talking about is everyone saying that the villain is called Krem, and everyone's saying
Right.
that Krem is like a bad villain. He's pretty forgettable. Like he's not really he's just not a good villain. And I'm like, okay, now this movie is unique in the sense of comic book movies because it's like the first comic book movie ever to directly adapt a specific comic book. Like generally speaking, comic book movies adapt concepts and like plot elements, but they don't
Right.
adapt like straight up a singular comic book. Like this movie is an adaptation
Sure.
of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Like in the same way that Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is an adaptation of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Like it's
Sure.
the most one to one a superhero movie has ever been to a comic book. And
You tell me there's not a story where suicide kills the Justice
yeah,
League?
no. So people saying that Krem's a bad villain, it's like you're technically correct as far as like he doesn't really there's not a lot to him. He's pretty shallow as a villain, and he's just kind of like a mean guy that's kind of in the way. And he's not very interesting and he's not memorable.
Sure.
But the problem is that I think people are misunderstanding what Krem's role in the story is in Woman of Tomorrow and in this movie. Krem is not the villain of that story in the comic book. He is a threat that has to be overcome,
Right.
but the villain of that story is Supergirl's trauma.
Mm.
And in the movie that's also true. The villain is not a person, it's Supergirl being depressed about Krypton exploding
Yeah.
and her feeling isolated and alone and not wanting to be Supergirl. Like that's the villain of the movie. It's not Krem, like, so the co-star character, Ruthie, is like she's like a girl that Krem murders her family is like the premise. And she wants revenge, and that's like how she gets involved, and she meets Supergirl through her quest for revenge and everything. And Krem is her villain. Like, he is not Supergirl's villain.
Right.
And the big difference between the book and the movie is that the book is told from Ruthie's point of view. Like, the whole thing is a journal that Ruthie is writing about her experience meeting Supergirl and going on this adventure with her. So the book is told from Ruthie's point of view, and in Ruthie's mind, Krem is the villain because he's her villain. But the movie is told from Supergirl's point of view because
Yeah.
it's a Supergirl origin movie. And in Supergirl's mind, Krem is just some asshole who caused her to have a bad day. He's not a Supergirl villain in that sense. So in that regard, it's kind of like a thing where it's like you're technically right if you critique it for him being not a memorable villain, but he's not supposed to be memorable. He's supposed to be this random
Supergirl's perspective. Yeah.
he's supposed to be this random criminal that just pissed her off on a specific day, and then she beats him and moves on. And it's like, so the fact that he's not like, you know, a Lex Luthor or General Zod or something like that, he's not supposed to be that. And so
Yeah.
for me, that doesn't like, so that is taken away. I guess some people are, critiquing that. It's taking off points for them. But for me, it's like, it doesn't, because he's not, that's how he's supposed to be nothing. He's not supposed to be interesting, so to speak.
Right.
And then there's some other like little things that there's a few little things I didn't like. Like there's one thing in particular. Okay. There is a planet that they go to where the sun is green or emits green light. And it weakens Supergirl because it's supposed to have like the same effect as kryptonite.
Okay.
In the book, my issue with this is mostly that they don't explain it well in the movie.
Okay.
Because the movie is going to convince people, casuals, that a thing that is absolutely not true is true, which is that green sunlight weakens Kryptonians.
Okay.
Because in the movie, they don't explain why the sun is green or anything like that. They're just like, oh, it's a green sun.
Okay. But
in the book, there's outside lore beyond the story itself where it's like, at one point, these bad guys built an artificial star out of kryptonite. Specifically to trap Superman on this specific planet. And that information wouldn't fit into this world, so they leave that out, and they're just like, oh, it's a green star. And it hurts Supergirl. And it's like...
Well, why wouldn't it fit?
Well, because...
throw it in.
No, because like the timeline doesn't make sense. So like Supergirl of Tomorrow takes place like not way in the future necessarily, but like Supergirl has been Supergirl for years, and Superman has been Superman for a really long time at that point. So like Superman's presence in the universe is universal. Like everybody in the whole fucking galaxy knows who Superman is, and he has enemies on other planets and stuff like that. And in the DCU, that's not the case yet. Like nobody knows who Superman is outside of Earth at this point. So it wouldn't make sense for some other group of criminals to build a fucking kryptonite sun to hurt him.
Zod?
Yeah. Zod's not here yet, though, and that wouldn't make sense. Zod wouldn't create something that could kill him. Kill himself.
Well, they had to make it because of him, is what I was thinking.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, but they don't explain it at all yet. I mean, sure, they maybe could have done something like that, but Zod... I mean, Zod's still too... Like, he hasn't shown up yet or anything yet.
Right.
So that
would create a lot of problems.
But yeah, so that's just one of like the little things I was like, I don't like that because you didn't really, now people are just gonna think that
people are
gonna think
they're
gonna think green sunlight hurts Kryptonians, and I'm like, that's not true.
But it is like it is basically like a throwaway.
Yeah.
Thing that'll probably never.
No, it's never gonna. There's not gonna be another green sun ever again in a DCU movie. So who cares? But like, it's just dumb.
Imagine though.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor. Let's make the sun green.
Yeah. And there's lots of like little things like that where it's scenes from the comic book where like there's one scene in the comic book that's not in the movie where like Supergirl gets injured by something and Ruthie has to like protect her for like a day or two and and Ruthie gets to fight like these giant fucking pterodactyl monster things or whatever and it's like a really cool moment for her because she doesn't usually get to do a lot of cool stuff because Supergirl is doing all the heavy lifting for most of the story. So it's like one of the
Right.
few instances in the comic book where Ruthie gets to like show that she's not just some helpless teenager getting carried through the journey by Supergirl. And that's not in the movie. And there's like a couple other there's actually a lot of like specific scenes from the book that's not in the movie. And it's why it's kind of like a crazy decision that they made adapting a comic book directly into a movie because they had to leave out a lot of cool shit like with any book adaptation and
Right.
but this is worse, I think. I think trying to do it with the comic book is a lot worse because, you know, we were talking about something like Harry Potter.
Extremely confined.
If you're talking about something with Harry Potter, it's like there's only 7 Harry Potter books. So you've only got so much material to work with in the first place, and there's only so much you have to leave out. Whereas with like Supergirl, even though they are adapting one specific book, the book itself implies lots of extra lore from
Information.
Supergirl's history of like 60 plus years or whatever. So
Yeah, it's not an
you have to
origin
leave
story
out,
intended
yeah, so
comic
you have to
book.
leave out a whole bunch of shit that wouldn't make any sense in a Supergirl origin movie because it just timeline wise it wouldn't work or it'd be like, oh well, you're just throwing information at audiences that they have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. uh
Yeah, just exposition dumping just to
yeah,
make it make
which they
sense.
don't do in the movie, but it hurts them as far as adapting the comic book well because they have to leave out a lot
Yeah,
of crazy shit because it wouldn't make sense to casuals, which is fine.
right.
But and that's
Yeah,
not really
it's you gotta do one or the other. You either
that's
have to. I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
it's hard to find the time to justify it. Like, are you going to exposition dump? Are you going to be able to actually explain all of these things, or do you just kind of like you have to deal with the fact that you can't, or or just miss an explanation like
Yeah.
that?
And that's not really that part doesn't really bother me as much because I understand it's like I wouldn't really necessarily want them to throw in a bunch of crazy shit that casuals wouldn't understand. But like the people
Yeah,
who were going into this movie wanting it to be a faithful adaptation of Woman of Tomorrow are pissed off
yeah,
because
people are
it's
disappointed.
not super like the story beats are all there, like the important stuff is there, but like a lot of the detail is not there. And so people are mad about that. Um
Interesting.
There's like one scene in particular where it kind of seems like the writers forgot that Supergirl got her powers back, like in the scene before that, where
Oh,
she gets hurt by something that should not be able to hurt her at that point in the story. At least at like you could probably, you know, mental gymnastics your way into being like, okay, it could theoretically make sense, but like gut reaction, you're like, how the fuck is this even
yeah,
happening to you right now when you just got your powers back 5 minutes ago? But that only happens like once and it's very brief and it doesn't really impact the story a whole lot. So I was like, I'll let it go. It's fine.
yeah.
Um, and there's the typical stuff where, and I'm not mad about this either because I've seen people complaining about this as well, where they're like, oh, it seems like there are parts of the movie where the writers forgot that Supergirl has X-ray vision and super hearing. And I'm like, you're not technically wrong. However, those two powers have to get nerfed a lot of the time
In any
in
kind of
most
adaptation,
storytelling, even in comic books, because it's like if you followed the canonical limits of what the super hearing especially can do, they would be unbeatable all the time. Because it's like canonically speaking, like if you follow the exact description of what super hearing about what Kryptonian super hearing can do, they can hear literally anything, literally anywhere, literally all the time according to like the strict lore, like through space, like
insane.
Superman, like even things that physically don't make sense, like Superman on Earth could hear something happening in a different galaxy if he felt like it through the vacuum of space, which makes no fucking sense.
Yep.
So it's like you can't do that because if he can hear if or Supergirl whatever, it's like if she can hear everything all the time, then nobody would ever be able to make any plans or
Right.
keep any secrets or move at all without her knowing exactly where they were at all times, and there would be no
Yeah.
story.
Well, how would she get? She'd never get surprised by
Yeah,
anything.
there would be no story if that were the case. So it's like the fact that they have to be like, oh, well, she just wasn't listening right then. It's like, I understand that that's kind of a dumb excuse, but it's a necessary dumb excuse because otherwise there would be no story.
Yeah.
And people are trying to like nitpick that just to be like, oh, look, this movie's even more dumb because Supergirl forgot she has super hearing. It's like, no, she didn't. It's just that the story can't happen if she has full powered super hearing all the time, and it would make the story boring. And it's like, you know, it's one of those times where I'm okay with them like nerfing a character's abilities or like
Yeah.
or whatever, just
I
because
mean,
it.
it's just like out of plot convenience. You have to do the same with. You always have to do it with Superman,
Yeah,
obviously, when he's. But like generally you have more flexibility. You can do it to a lesser extent. You could still have him do some crazy shit like in Man of Steel. But outside, I mean, there's a couple other characters like that. But I mean, it's fact of life
yeah.
sometimes.
Well, I was gonna say like Flash is a great example. It's like
Flash is a great
people
example.
love arguing. They're like, well, why can't Flash just end every threat in 1 second? And it's
It's
like
like,
people.
are you wrong? No, but like, what we're watching a movie here. We're not watching a fucking TikTok
Yeah,
or
it's
a
like
Vine.
yeah, exactly. It's like
Like,
it's like you're right. If we follow the rules of how Barry's powers work to the letter, no one should ever be able to commit any crimes ever. But like, why would you want to read that comic book or watch that movie?
yeah,
Like
it's a page long.
it'd be fucking stupid. Like you don't want to. You don't want that. Stop arguing like you want that. Um
Exactly.
oh, one thing I don't know if you remember, you watched the Superman movie, right? Like the newer one from 2025
Uh, let's
last year.
see. Very possible I didn't. Let's see. Did I? Oh yeah. I watched this movie, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
You remember how in that movie they revealed that like Jor-El and Laura sent Superman to Earth to conquer it? And that was like
Yeah.
a big thing where like that's obviously not usually the case.
The origin. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there was like I really didn't like that change at all because I was like it just felt kind of like a lazy way to I don't know
Have a reason
just
for him
make
to
him
be
different.
Earth.
Yeah, just or
Yeah.
just like a lazy way to make it different. Like oh his parents are evil in this universe, and I was like I really hope that Lex is lying about that somehow still. And then in this movie, they just straight up doubled down and confirmed that he wasn't lying. Like in Supergirl, there's some like backstory flashback stuff with Supergirl, and in one of them, like her dad is straight up like, "Oh yeah, no, they're sending Kal-El to Earth to conquer it." And I was like, "Oh okay, never mind. I guess that's canon." All right, so they confirmed that for real, and I was like, I don't like it, and I never will, but I'm okay with it. I'll move on. But but I think the one thing that did bother me about it actually more so at that point, because that was the thing when they first revealed that in Superman, I was like, it doesn't really make sense how you're gonna reconcile Supergirl and Superman being on the same side. Because I'm like, okay, if Jor-El and Lara were evil, like were Zor-El and Alora also evil because like they're family and they would have
Right.
known why they sent Superman to Earth and stuff like that. So like and I was like, "Are we not going to talk about it?" And they still don't talk about it,
No.
which is the weird thing. So like, because there's a scene, there's the one scene where before Supergirl is born or whatever that oh, and that was another weird change. Not a weird, like I mean, it's weird because it's not usually how the story goes, and it doesn't really matter. Like I don't mind it, but they made it to where like Supergirl wasn't born until after Krypton exploded, and she was born on like Argo City, like because I don't know if you know this, but like interchangeable piece of like lore is that when Krypton blows up, Supergirl's dad manages to temporarily save one city by like putting a force field around it. So they're just kind of like floating in space and like barely surviving after Krypton blows up. And in this version of the story, Supergirl isn't born until then, like until they're floating around in space after Krypton's exploded. So she's actually
Yeah.
younger than him in this story, and she wasn't sent to Earth to protect and raise him like she normally is.
Hmm.
Anyway, so
Interesting.
after Zor-El mentions the fact that he's like right before Krypton blows up, they see like there's a scene as you see Krypton exploding, you see Superman's rocket taking off, and Zor-El and Alora are looking up at it, and Alora's like, maybe is that him? Like she's like, is that Kal-El? And then he's like, yeah, he's on the way. And they're like, maybe we should have done what Jor-El did and sent uh like and built a pod or something like that to send
Right.
Supergirl to Earth. And Zor-El's like, yeah, I don't want to send our daughter to Earth to be some sort of like god conqueror or whatever.
Nice.
And so he clearly disagrees with that concept. And I'm like, okay, you
Right.
addressed that part, but then eventually Argo City starts to die because they can't sustain life on like a floating asteroid, basically. And Supergirl's, 20 years old or whatever at the time, as Argo's dying, and they decide to build the escape pod for her to send her to Earth after Superman. And as they're building it, Zor-El like doesn't mention the fact that Superman was sent to Earth to conquer it at all, like to Supergirl. Like he doesn't tell her that, and at least not in that scene. And I was like, that's kind of weird that you wouldn't like warn her, because for all they knew,
Superman's conquered it
yeah, for
already.
all they knew, Kal-El went to Earth and got the full message from his parents, not the damaged version, and was raised by like robots or whatever
Right.
in the fortress and grew up and took over the planet like he was supposed to. So it's kind of
Right.
like, yeah. So I'm kind of like, it's weird that you didn't warn her. And then when she gets to Earth and you see that scene, like in one of the flashbacks where like Superman is there when her ship crashes and he's like, oh, hey, what's up? And introduces her and shows her around Earth and stuff. And she doesn't, she doesn't like question him at all, like right away either. And I was like, it just feels like kind of
No.
like a missed opportunity for something interesting you could have done, where you could have made her like kind of hesitant to be like,
Right.
are you an insane conqueror with a god complex, or are you cool? Like, because for all she knew, she should have assumed the god complex thing,
Yeah.
not that he was just going to be this nice guy, which she obviously doesn't assume either way. She's just kind of like, oh, hey, what's up? And it's like, I feel like you could have done, like, if you're going to make a change that drastic to Superman's origin, do something interesting with it.
Yeah.
And they don't really. And I was like, okay, fine. Which they could still do something interesting with it. And I thought about this. I was like, it could be cool if whenever Zod eventually shows up in this universe, if the change obviously is that he and Jor-El never stopped being friends, because if Jor-El sent Superman to Earth to conquer it, then that means he and Zod would have agreed on the whole we should conquer other planets thing,
Yeah.
which means that they could play with it in a more interesting way where it's not Zod hunting Superman down because he hates his father. It's like
Right.
him hunting Superman because Superman dishonored his father by not taking over Earth. And I was like, that could be an
Right.
interesting twist on it. So like, but whatever. That's
Yeah.
not about Supergirl. Um, what else was there? Oh, thing that typically bothers me all the time in any superhero movie or show that ever does this is like Supergirl isn't Supergirl for 90% of the movie. Like she doesn't have the suit on and she doesn't actually look, and it's okay. It's like fine. It's an origin story. So she doesn't literally become like,
90%.
yeah, like literally like she doesn't have the suit on until the very last battle. And then she puts it on for the final fight. And then she has it on like when she like, for like the very last scene when she like decides to actually become Supergirl. Because the whole movie she's just kind of like, I don't really want, I don't know where I belong, and I don't know who I want to be and stuff like that. And then at the end, she's like, okay, I'm gonna actually be Supergirl and not just be this,
Yeah.
you know, depressed nothingness floating out in space. Um,
Yeah.
so like in that regard, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. But at the same time, I do hate it when they don't wear the suit for like the whole movie. So that doesn't really take off points for me. It just bothers me a little bit. Um,
Nice.
there's a pretty there is a pretty big spoiler thing I won't get into. But there's like a thing that Supergirl does that I thought I would hate if she did it, because she is a thing that happens in the comic book that happens very differently in the movie, and in the comic book it makes Supergirl seem cruel and evil, and in the movie they did it in a way where I was like, okay, a she had much more limited choices in the movie than she did in the book. and B, in the book it comes across as like vindictive and like
Yeah.
maliciously premeditated, and in the book it comes across a lot more as like her trying to do the right thing, but also trying to exact justice as best she can in the situation. And I was like,
Very ominous.
yeah, so it's not, it doesn't have the same feeling to it at all. Like in the book, I was like, that's fucking stupid, and I'm glad this isn't canon. And then in the movie, I was like, for a split second, when the thing actually happened, I was like, I don't like this. And then I thought about it for like 2 seconds, and I was like, actually, this is a lot different, and I think it kind of works, and I'm okay with it. Um,
Mm.
and it feeds into a thing that like and my issue with it would have been that it would have caused uh an impassable barrier between her and Superman, ideologically speaking.
Yeah.
If it had happened like it did in a book, I would have said that was true. But it, because of the way they did it in the movie, I was like, okay, I think Superman could understand this and like be okay with it because he has
Yeah.
done
It's out of
things.
necessity, basically.
Yeah, yeah, because he's done things or excused things of a similar nature before in comics or whatever, and been like, this is, it's like there's a line and I don't want to cross it usually, but
Right.
if I have to, I will, type of thing. And
Yeah.
that's kind of
It's
what
not
it
off the
falls into in
table.
the movie as opposed to in the book. Where in the book, it's not this, it's not like that. In the book, it's just not like that. It's not like, oh, there's this line that I don't want to cross, but I really have to. In the book, the way Supergirl does it, it's like there's a line and there's absolutely no need to cross it whatsoever, but I'm gonna fucking do it anyway. And that's,
Yeah.
and it undermines kind of like the moral lesson, I think, of the story itself in a sense in the book as opposed to in the movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's good, I guess.
so there's that. And then what else was there? Oh, well, it didn't end. I remember I said this before, I think, where I was worried that it was going to end with like them trying to be like, oh, Supergirl's radically different from Superman and she's like the angry one or whatever. And I was really worried that they were going to end it with her like that, where she's like, she's the angry one and he's the nice one. And it doesn't end that way. And I was like, thank fucking God. Like, she's a little bit
Right.
more, she's still a little bit more jaded than he is at this
Sure.
point. But, like, she definitely ends in, like, a way where she's kind of like, okay, I'm ready to be a hero. And I'm not going to be a douche about it. As opposed to being, like, reluctantly dragged into being heroic and being angry the whole time.
Yeah.
So they didn't do that. And I was like, thank you so much. For getting
Solid.
they basically, you know, open and shut the whole her being an angsty drunk mess in this movie. Like we're not gonna see that version of her
Yeah.
after this anymore. Like she's done with all that nonsense. And I'm like, it works for an origin, but it needed to only be this movie, and it looks like that's where they're going with it. Is that that part of like that version of her is just not doesn't exist anymore at the end of the movie, and I was like, all right, cool, thank you. Um, a lot of people have been like praising Lobo, his part of like, and he is cool in the movie, but it's weird because I've seen like people, even people that have been like saying that they hate the movie, have been like, oh well, Lobo is like the only good part of the movie or the best part of the movie or whatever the case might be, and I'm like, Lobo is cool, but he's not that cool first of all, and in the movie anyway.
Yeah.
And the weird thing to me though is the people that are saying that he's so cool, I'm like, they didn't even show like his powers at all. Like he's in a couple fight scenes, but he really just like punches a couple people and then leaves. And they don't show off the fact that he can like regenerate from anything or anything like that. Like if someone watched this movie and didn't know anything about Lobo, they would think he was just kind of strong. And I'm like, that's not why Lobo's cool. Lobo's cool because like his healing powers are like Deadpool's. Like you could
Mm.
cut him into little tiny pieces and he'll just come back and or like from a single drop of blood or whatever. And it's just like they don't showcase that even a little bit. And I was like, it's kind of weird that you put Lobo in the movie and then didn't show what Lobo can do. And then people are like, oh, Lobo's the best part. And I'm like, they left out the cool part of Lobo So it's weird to me that so many people are glazing the Lobo aspects of the movie. And I'm like, the coolest part of Lobo isn't in this movie. So yeah, but whatever, it's fine. He is cool in the movie, but I was like, we don't. No one knows what Lobo can do in this movie, unless you know what Lobo can do outside this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, every scene that Superman's in is like a 10 out of 10 though. Like when he and
Nice.
Supergirl are interacting and stuff like that, it's just so good. Um, yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing as far as, and though I mean that's pretty much all my thoughts on it as like
Yeah.
altogether. Like there really wasn't a lot dragging it down for me. And I think the thing is,
Mm.
I've seen a lot of people saying like, "Oh, it's." I don't know if I already said this, but a lot of people saying like, "Oh, it's a basic story. It's a base. It's not a very like. It's
It's
not a
not super
very.
deep.
It's not a very good plot, or it's not a very like interesting plot, or like unique plot, or whatever the case. Like, all different versions of that sentence.
Sure.
And I'm like, guys, it's a superhero origin movie, and I don't know who needs to hear this, but every single superhero has the exact same origin story. Okay, like the details might vary, obviously. Like if there's
Right.
different characters or slightly different things happen, but they all have the same story. All of them lose their parents or a parent figure in some regard,
Yeah.
and they all struggle with wanting like either revenge or not wanting to be a hero, and then choosing to be a hero in spite of revenge, or choosing to be a hero because they're called to it in spite of not wanting to be one.
Yeah.
And then they become the hero, and then they are the hero forever after that. Every single superhero, exact same origin story every single time. And it's like, so people that are complaining about it, they're like, oh, it's not super interesting or nuanced or unique or whatever. I'm like, it never has been and it never will
Yeah.
be. And you're
Yeah.
watching the movie for the wrong reason. Like, nuanced superhero concepts are only going to come around like once every 10 years. And
Yeah.
that's, and it's not because someone magically like came up with a brilliant idea or whatever. It's just because sometimes there's a superhero story or a character in particular that's very, very unique and different. But
Right.
once you do that, it's over. But like all the main superheroes are all telling the same basic story of like the hero's
Hard.
journey.
Extreme hard. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
And it's one of those things too where it kind of leads into when people talk about characters they do like or they don't like in superheroes, they'll be like, oh, I like if someone says, I don't know, like I like Green Lantern, but I don't like Captain Marvel, the
Yeah.
reasoning usually ends up being like, oh, well, I find Green Lantern relatable and I don't find Captain Marvel relatable. And I'm like, bro, they're literally all relatable.
It's,
All of them. They're all exactly the same kind of.
that's the whole point. But that's
Like,
also the whole point. But
yeah,
yeah,
I'm like, every superhero is relatable. And if you think that a character isn't, if you think that one superhero isn't relatable,
there is a
it's
one that is.
it's either well no, I mean, like if you say like Captain Marvel, for example, it's like if you don't think
Yeah.
Captain Marvel's relatable, there's only two explanations for that. Either you've only consumed a specific piece of media that wrote her poorly and therefore you didn't find it relatable, or
Yeah.
you've never consumed any Captain Marvel material at all and you don't, and that's why you don't find them relatable. Because like the thing you'll see people talk about too when they talk about relatability and like uniqueness of characters or whatever is they'll be like, oh, like Batman and Superman's a great example because they'll be like, oh, I think Batman's relatable and I don't think Superman's relatable. But then what they're talking about is like the powers and abilities that those characters have.
Right.
They're
Of
not
course.
actually
Right.
talking about the characters. They're like, oh, Batman's relatable because Batman's conceivable, and Superman's not relatable because he's impossible. And I'm like, Batman and Superman's powers and technology or whatever have absolutely nothing to do with them being relatable. Like that's not the point. The point is like their motivations and personality and morality and emotional connection to the people around them. Like that's what makes Batman relatable and that's what makes Superman relatable. And like sure, they're relatable in different ways, but every single superhero is relatable when they're written correctly. So you could take like a movie like Captain Marvel and be like, "Oh, that's not relatable." Like if you watched Captain Marvel movie, you probably won't think Carol is a relatable character because she's not written well in that movie. She's written as her powers. Like in that movie, there is nothing to Carol except for her being OP. There's very little character development. So it's kind of like that makes sense if you're talking about the relatability thing. And if you're like, oh, I don't
Sure.
think Captain Marvel's relatable, but it's like there's other stuff of Captain Marvel where she is relatable. You just like, and I'm not, I'm not expecting people to go read every comic book or anything like that, but it's
Yeah.
the idea that a superhero that all superheroes aren't ultimately working towards the same baseline and the same
Sure.
idea of relatability is dumb because they all are the same. It's like because it's like superheroes and people I feel like don't think about it in this way and they should. Superheroes are modern mythology. And it's like
Sure.
just like you compare it to like Greek mythology or something like that. And if you look at Greek mythology, every single Greek myth is exactly the same story. It's humans getting defeated by their own weakness, and the weakness is a little bit different in each story, like whether it's hubris or
Sure.
selfishness or uh, hedonism or whatever. But every
Yeah.
single Greek myth is the exact same story. It's humans fail at overcoming something because of whatever human weakness insert here. And
Right.
superhero stories are the exact same thing. Every single superhero story is X character overcomes X obstacle by believing in themselves or
Right.
hoping or
Power
loving
friendship.
or friendship, yeah, or whatever. And it's like the catalyst thing is a little bit different each time, but every single superhero story is exactly the same when
Yeah.
you break down the elements of it. So people that are like, "Oh, it's not unique." I'm like, "It's never been unique. Like it was unique
Yeah.
the very first time it happened and it's never been unique again since then." So, and a lot of
It's
people
execution that matters more
yeah.
than
So a lot of
concept.
people are
Yeah.
like, "Oh, the story's basic," and I'm like, "Yeah, because it's an origin story.
Yeah.
What do you want it to be? Like I don't understand what you want when you're like, "Oh, this is a basic origin story." And I'm like, "Yeah, because it's a superhero. It's not it's a basic superhero. Like I like Superman and people not and I'm like not knocking Supergirl by calling her a basic
Sure.
superhero. Batman is a basic superhero. There's nothing fucking nuanced about Batman's origin story, okay? Like no matter how much people want to like he's written better more often than most characters.
I feel like maybe that's what these people mean, even though they're saying what they're saying. Because like
Sure,
what
no,
they're because in my opinion, what they're saying in like what you're saying, same as you, doesn't make a lot of sense. Because you're right, Batman is just he loses parents, he becomes it's extremely basic.
yeah,
If you want to use the term fucking basic, but is it done better? I mean, yeah,
sure, yeah. I mean, and there's a difference between like the actual writing of like the movie itself outside of the origin story aspect
right,
as opposed to
correct, yeah,
like but it's not the people some people are saying it like that. They're like, "Oh, well, I didn't really like the writing of this specific thing as much." And I'm like,
yeah,
okay, fine, whatever. But there's lots of people that are just saying like, oh, it's basic or it's like, run of the mill superhero stuff or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't mean anything. You're just saying stuff.
yeah.
Um and then there's a lot of people that have been calling it like really bad. And do you know who Tyrone Magnus is?
I don't think
No,
so.
YouTuber. It doesn't matter. So he I used to like Uzair and I used to like watch a lot of his videos and stuff because it used to be like years ago that if he said that he didn't like something, we would generally agree, and if he did, then we generally would agree. But I want to say
Yeah,
I can't remember when it happened, but a few years, but 5, 6 years ago, he started, and a lot of those like YouTube critic reactor people
right.
started kind of all funneling into the same camp of like they just hate everything and 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 I checked because I mean, like, and it's one of those things where I checked before I said this on here because I was like, I don't want to like
Yeah,
obviously make some shit up about Tyrone, but so if you go back and you watch his like review for Superman from last year, general consensus about that movie, everybody loves that movie. In general, everyone thinks it's great. Everyone, I think the average score for it is like an 8 out of 10, and then there's a lot of 9 out of 10s and stuff like that as well. But it doesn't really go much lower than that. Everyone thinks that the new Superman was peak and it was like a great Superman movie and a great superhero movie, so on and so forth. And he
yeah.
did his review of that movie and called it a piece of trash. And then this movie comes out and he also calls that a piece of trash. And I'm like, see, you've
Mm,
created this paradox not even a paradox. It's just like I no longer believe these people. Like all these
Well, yeah,
YouTubers
now
that I used to
it's
watch, and they would like react to stuff early or whatever. And I'm like, but they all hate everything now. And I'm like, if you hated
mm,
Superman and everyone in the general consensus is that you're just fucking wrong about that, and then you also hate Supergirl, then your opinion stops mattering very quickly because it's like. Whereas if you were like, oh yeah, Superman was, even if you didn't love Superman, if you were like, oh, it was pretty good,
right,
and then you were like Supergirl was worse and I didn't like it, it's like at least
right.
you had some sort of like
Reference.
reference, yeah, noticeable reference of like, oh, you looked at two different movies that are very different from each other and you came to a different conclusion, as opposed to just being like, he's also like one of like the Snyder fanboys, which doesn't help. So like anything that's
Yeah,
not like
never
Snyder,
does.
anything that's not like Snyderverse stuff, he just hates it automatically. But yeah, so there's that too. But yeah, so it's like if you can't in one breath say that Superman is a terrible movie when nobody would agree with you on that, and then turn around and say Supergirl's also a terrible movie and expect people to be able to put those two opinions next to each other and be like, I believe both of these statements, or I believe neither of these statements, because it's like I don't know. And a lot of those YouTubers that have become part of like they just kind of hate all modern comic book, Star Wars, everything, no matter
Yeah,
how like even if it's not great, they'll just even if it's not great but not completely terrible, they'll just say it's completely terrible.
yeah,
Like Mandalorian Grogu is a good example. It's like that movie was very middle of the pack. It had some it was okay in certain parts, and it's
yeah.
enjoyable for like I'd say most of it. But
Uh,
that crowd of people on YouTube or Twitter or whatever are all just like, "Oh, this is the worst thing that's ever happened," and it's like that's not true. Like it's not terrible. It's just not great. It's not like, and that's kind of how I think that's the best way you could kind of describe Supergirl. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's
yeah.
just good. Like it's good and it's
That
entertaining.
is the just like looking at like relative. I haven't really seen any spoilers. Spoiler free like comments and reviews and just kind of skimming shit. I get that impression that like it's not great. No one really thinks it's great. People seem to be pushing back on the idea that it's bad.
Yeah,
Like at
it's
least
not
from what I
bad.
see, like recently, and people are just saying that it's just like good.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
a
a good
solid
movie.
entry phase one
It's
type
inoffensive, but it's
superhero
not like
movie. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not, yeah. People are bringing up the whole
yeah.
MCU Phase One shit.
And there's crazy people also. So and I think well, a big issue with it is Millie Alcock started behaving very much like Rachel Zegler was behaving before Snow White came out,
Oh boy,
where she was just starting to be like, "Oh, if you don't like it, you're sexist, and like it doesn't matter that I'm not white," and like just poking every bear she could find in the woods until they were all
right,
roaring in anger. And it was like that's Millie Alcock did not she didn't get to Rachel Zegler's level of like pissing off
right,
people before the movie, but she did say a handful of dumb things that people were like like people were already being like, "Oh, well, I'm not going to see this because it's going to be woke or it's going to be like
right.
pseudo feminist nonsense. It's going to be super fucking obnoxious or whatever." And I saw one person that like supposedly watched the movie and they were like, "Oh yeah, this movie." They described it as like this movie was woke trash, and I was like, "Listen,
What is woke about it
there's
though? I mean,
absolutely nothing woke that happens in this movie. There's one
we have
one
one
line.
protagonist equals
There's
woke.
one line where you could potentially argue that it was like a small injection of like some woke stuff, and it's like one
Yeah,
part of the movie where right after Ruthie and Supergirl first meet, and she asks, um, she asks, I can't remember how it comes up, but she, I mean I do remember, but it's complicated to explain. It doesn't matter. She asked basically what Supergirl's name, like how she's known on Earth or whatever, and Supergirl's like, my name's Supergirl, right?
yeah,
And Ruthie's like, well, or Ruthie assumes her name would be Superwoman. That's what happens.
right.
Ruthie asks Supergirl if she's the only one with powers on her planet on Earth, and
Hmm.
Supergirl's like, no, it's me and my cousin. Superman, and then she's like, "So are you Superwoman?" And then Supergirl's like, "No, they call me Supergirl." And then Ruthie's like, Why do they call you woman and him, or why don't they call you? Why do they call you girl and him man, and why don't they call you woman?" And that's it. That's the only time in the whole movie where there's any sort of like, and the way
I mean, that's like basically nothing.
and not the way it's delivered by the actors or actresses, but the way it's written, like the dialogue, you can tell that that's what the writer was doing. That she was kind of being
Okay.
like a like you can feel it coming out of the screen just a
Okay.
little
Okay.
tiny bit where it's like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
she's being like, well, why isn't she called Superwoman? And I'm like, I can explain it to you because there's lots of real world reasons. A, Supergirl rolls off the tongue better. That's number one actual real life reason why she's called that, because
But
it's
she looks like more like a girl or whatever the
also,
fuck. I mean, that's
yeah.
that
Also,
was the
that's
main
number two. She was literally
shit.
she's a teenager, so that's why
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
she's actually a girl. She's not like
Yeah.
in the movie. She's like 23, so it kind of breaks that.
Sure.
But like in comics, when she gets to Earth, she's like 16.
Mhm.
So when she becomes Supergirl, she's a child technically, and so it's like that's why she was Supergirl. Like A, it's easier to say, which is actually more important than you think. Like as far as like, because comic books were written for, it's supposed to be like I mean, it's the idea of like a name being punchy and like jumping off the page type
Sure.
things. Like Supergirl pops, Superwoman is more syllables, and
Yeah. It's longer.
it's longer. That's it. I mean, that is a real thing. Mostly it's the teenager thing,
Believe
but
it.
that's also part of it. And it's also like it's not just Supergirl, Superboy. He's Superboy because he's a teenager. Wonder Girl, also Wonder Girl because she's a teenager. I mean, obviously you could be like, oh well, there's already a Wonder Woman and already a Superman, but it's like that's not the reason. The reason is because they're teenagers. It's like
Yeah.
that's where it comes from. Um, but yeah, and just other little things like that. And I was like, but that's the only line in the movie. The only, and that line, and it lasts 10 seconds maybe, and then it's immediately
Yeah.
over. Like after she's like, oh yeah, no, they call me Supergirl, not Superwoman. And then it's just, oh, another reason for it is actually because Superwoman alludes to a romantic attachment to Superman.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
Which yeah makes a lot of sense
they
as
also
well.
didn't want that. That's another like publication reason for it. And which is why like when Lois has powers, which she has,
She's called Superwoman.
she's
Yeah.
Superwoman because it's like that's her name because she's the one that's married to him, and it's like it's like um.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the only line in the whole movie. In the whole movie, that's the only thing in the whole movie where you could even remotely be like, that was a little bit woke for like half a second, and then it went away.
Sure.
And then the funny thing though, because I watched like a couple of seconds of the guy's video that's talking about it, because I like, there's no way anything he says is gonna be accurate because of the fucking the opening of like, oh, this is woke trash, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Either you're talking about that one specific line, which is crazy to call the whole movie woke trash
Right.
based on one line, or you're actually just being sexist because of the fact that a girl is the main character. Because like that's the only two things you could
One of the
possibly
two. Yeah.
like. It's the only two things you could possibly be talking about. Like it's not woke. It's just not. It's like it's a girl like doing like superhero shit, but like
Whoa.
but like I'm like,
Who let her on the fucking
and
screen?
I'm like, look, I'm really not like I don't know what to tell you, man. Like
Why wasn't she'd come down in a little kitchen pod or
yeah,
something, you know?
I'm like you guys are not helping for when there are really dog shit like.
Right. You got to be able to differentiate.
Yeah, you're not
You
helping
can't
the
just
situation
start
because
throwing
now,
this shit
yeah, because
around,
now
man.
it makes the argument from like uh people that will say like, oh well, people just hate female main characters. It's like you're making their argument stronger
Right.
by saying crazy shit like that about this movie when it doesn't apply at all. Like you can't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, you're right.
that's pretty much it though. I mean, it was good. I liked it.
Solid. Okay. We'll see how that ages because I mean, a movie like this, the reviews right now are I'm not gonna say meaningless, but like it's very, it could end up sticking around this score, but I'd be curious to see what happens in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, looking on Letterboxd, it seems like the 6 and
Why don't you
7.
check Letterbox?
I usually trust that the most at this point, but looking at Letterboxd, the 6 and 7 out of 10 scores are like pretty much are aggressively dominating
Yeah,
by a significant margin. And honestly, like the 8 out of 10
that seems
scores,
like it.
the 8 out of 10 scores are doing better than 5 out of 10s, and
It's
any
heavier at the
yeah,
top than it is at the
yeah.
bottom.
It's definitely top heavy, and it's well, I mean it's middle heavy 6 to 7, and then
Yeah, it's a normal. Well, it's not really a normal distribution, but
yeah, middle heavy 6 and 7, and then a little bit in 8, and then not a lot on either end,
yeah.
which
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, like I said at the very beginning when I started talking about it, I really wanted to like say 8 out of 10 like right after I was done. I was like I enjoyed that a lot more than I was expecting to, and
Right.
I think the only reason I like even go lower on it is just because I care way more about like Supergirl, like crypt, like DC comic stuff in general, but specifically Superman related stuff. So like the stuff that
Right.
bothers me a lot more than it would for like Captain America or something like that, where it's like because I think I compared this to I was talking to my brother about it. I think I compared this to Captain America as far as quality, like the first one. And I guess
Mm,
like in my rankings on Letterboxd, I have Captain America as like a 9 out of 10. And I was like, I feel like the reason for that is because I have um oh my god, is because I like I can give Captain America more leeway because I don't care as much as opposed to Supergirl, where I'm like I definitely care way more about Supergirl than I do
right.
about Captain America.
Yeah. It's just longer leash. All right. Solid. Well, let's. I mean, I'd love to go into My Hero, but we need more time. I need
Yeah,
more
yeah, we
time
do.
for that. We'll do. We'll
Eventually, we'll
do.
get to it. Well, oh yeah, we'll do another one on Monday, so it won't be too long.
Also, just like refresh.
Yeah, yeah.
Refresh my memory a little bit, perhaps. I wouldn't have as much polished remarks on it today, anyways. But yeah, that was good.
All right.
Good episode.
We'll just start with My Hero next time, so we don't end up getting bogged down by other stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sounds good.
All right. So, all right, that'll be it for this episode, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
See ya.